Allez, let's go les gars. Y'a même pas d'intro, y'a même rien. Aujourd'hui, commentation DFNCS Invitational. Ça fait depuis 2019 qu'on l'attend les gars. Aujourd'hui nous allons le commenter en live les gars. Franchement, que rêver de mieux. Bouga, l'ancien gagnant qui était juste ici en rouge, il voulait se faire remarquer ce chien. Maintenant, je veux que King, moi je suis pour King. Là y'a quoi? Y'a je sais plus qui. Lui on s'en fout, c'est une merde. Clix, je l'aime pas. Mais sinon les gars, il faut vraiment qu'on tout le monde on les déglingue là. Moi je suis pour King. Oh par contre, oh le trophée il est trop stylé. Il est trop stylé. Oh il s'est fait les cheveux roses le mec. Ah quoi, il change toujours de duo. Il change toujours de duo et après il insulte son duo. Il dit que c'est de sa faute et tout. Oh Vadil. Oi 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 oi.
It doesn't get more hype than that. I'm doing my best to contain my excitement right now, and I'm having a real difficult time. Now, that's just a handful of players that we'll be seeing compete on this stage.
Mec, il a du vernis à ongles.
But first, I'd love for you to give a big warm welcome to our main man. It's Adam Savage. Thank you very much, Zeke. We're feeling good here on the show floor. Audience, North Carolina, let the world hear you scream.
Oh, oh les skins banana.
You guys are beautiful. Right now, joining me here is Takata. What a week of Fortnite action we are in for, my friend. It's incredible. Adam, look.
Incredible. Je vous mets les sous-titres ou pas?
7 regions, 27 different countries, 50 of some of the best duos in the world are competing here today. A total prize pool of $1 million. I mean, words cannot even describe how excited I am.
We are so excited. One more time, North Carolina, let them hear you!
T'en peux pas?
Let's head back to Zeke, and we're excited here.
Ouais bon c'est pas grave. Oi 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 oi.
A player audience here just roaring as we watch things unfold. Eliminations happen right.
Dans 24 minutes les gars, dans 24 minutes, il y a quelque chose que nous attendions depuis 2019 qui va se passer maintenant, ici aujourd'hui, accompagné de mon clavier. Vous en pensez quoi? Je l'ai mis en vert. Bon vous le voyez pas mais c'est pas grave. Du coup attends, victoire royale c'est 32 points. Top 31, top 35, ok 44 points, 13, 14, 15, ok c'est ok. Ok ok. En gros en dessous du top, genre au-dessus du top 35, et bah tu gagnes pas de points. Ok ok. Je suis en direct là, ok. 200 000 $ le premier. Ok. Ah oui mais c'est des duos, du coup quoi qu'il arrive il rencontre 1000 balles.
Your duo that walks away as FNCS Invitational Champions will be forever have a little nice little trophy they can sit in their room and say, yeah, that happened. That was, in fact, us. Vivid, I'm trying to contain myself, man. Are you excited? Are you as excited as I am right now?
It's hard to not bounce around.
It's really hard right now. I'm saying, you know,
I am a surexcited boy.
Crazy. The competition hasn't even started yet, and yes, that trophy is oh so important. We have seen people raise these things up before, and those moments, they're still being replayed to this day, which makes these players want it oh so more.
And it's honestly just so exciting to think about the fact that by the end of this weekend, we are only going to get to see one duo lift up that beautiful Swarovski trophy.
So absolutely insane. You got a little taste of some of the players you got in the little introduction, but let me introduce you to a few more.
Alright, so we're both always consistent, always placing in the top 10.
We're just gonna play the same game that we always play.
Bouga, Bouga qui a pas changé. Clix, j'ai l'impression il a rajeuni là. me rappelle comment il s'appelle.
I've won 2 FNCSs, both in trios.
I've won 6 FNCSs.
I've won World Cup and 3 FNCSs.
To become an FNCS champion, I think one, it takes a
Waouh,
lot of
eh,
viewing.
il a gagné le World Cup
You're gonna have to pull a decent
et
amount
3
of-
FNCS. Hein.
a bit lucky.
You have to be the best, you have to have talent, you can't just be hardworking.
Our 2 last grands, obviously, we definitely learned a lot, and we've been kind of trying to look at all of our games, look why we made the mistakes, and hopefully we win this time.
I've been really consistent in FNCSs, but the last 2 have really been bad for me, so I'm here to not mess around and prove myself.
This season we're going to be way more consistent at getting
Je veux voir mon king, mon petit king d'amour là.
and then that's going to help us get the extra points we need to get that top spot.
E tal, então eu acho que eu quero há muito tempo já ter essa experiência para ver se como que tá o nível do Brasil comparado com os outros servidores.
Yeah, so there's, you know, loads of FNCS.
Please, et Duke.
Our plan is just to eliminate the people who, you know, are landing on us and eventually win the game.
In past FNCSs, we played
Malibu Kamerstach.
and,
Eux, je les vois bien gagner. Hein. Honnêtement, je les vois bien gagner. Eux, ils sont trop forts.
The fact that there's a lot of good players makes it a better lobby. It makes
Allez, moi je veux voir mon petit king là.
it more random and scattered. So I feel like we have a good playing field.
Mon king, il sait parler anglais.
Be nervous. You also got to be focused on the game. Can't really pay attention too much to your surroundings or, you know, what else is
J'ai l'impression qu'ils sont tous rajeunis.
I think that's also important. That's like
C'est incroyable.
left on is just to be calm and like, you know, do your things and stay focused on ourselves and know everything that's happening around us and keep the communication good.
Obviously in FNCS, I got second 4 times now. I don't think I've ever come short of getting top 10. I think every time I qualify, I always make it.
don't open your boxes too much or you will get eliminated.
To the other duos, good luck, but we are 100% here to win the Invitational.
I've already won FNCS on 2 regions, so watch out for me because I'm gonna win this.
Il a pas une tête de joueur pro.
Oh yeah, we are gonna
Lui, il a pas une tête de joueur pro. Et king.
The confidence is unreal right now. You can just tell from those little tidbits that these players have never been more focused in their competitive careers than this moment. Everything is on the line.
C'est le moment aujourd'hui.
See 2 members there, Queasy and Vino. I mean, heralds of EU, right? They're basically, Taco, they've been winning everything.
Queasy and Vino are entering this FNCS Invitational as an established threat. Despite the fact that they both already achieved FNCS championship titles in Chapter 3, their recent successes with the Elite Cup weekly finals in Europe and North America East is a primary example of their unwavering work ethic. These guys are absolute grinders, and not only that, but they had a first place finish in
Ok, il spawn là.
in week 6, and remind you, that was the NA East and European week
Oh là là.
that they managed to bring home for themselves. So the results speak for themselves here. When you are able to have such dominating performances so closely synced together to an event like this, it's no wonder that they are a clear fan favorite to bring it all home, because this is a world championship caliber duo, and I'm excited to see what they do this weekend.
Yeah, let's go ahead and readdress that fact that you said. Winning both Elite Cups on the same exact day on NA East and EU. Right now, this lobby is 75% EU plus NA East, which means that they have proven already that they can pretty much beat 75% of this lobby. The confidence has to be through the roof.
You know, I feel we can't not mention them, Vivid. A duo that I think many people are very excited to see here in person. It's Booga and it's Miro.
Representing the home region here, NA East, representing Sentinels, representing Dignitas, in my opinion, the most titled duo here at the event. Let's talk about it. Booga, solo World Cup champion. It's what he is known for. But because that is such a huge accomplishment, it
Lui, il fait peur.
always gets pushed under the rug that right now, in the
Il
past
spawn là, mais wesh.
he's gotten top 3 in every single one of them, with 3 of them being wins. But that's not all. Those 3 wins, back to back to back.
Oh, le shoot là, il était pas ouf, hein.
Stat line when you really think about it, and he's not the only one. You have to keep in mind his duo partner Miro. He has also been the NA East individual leader for
Oh là là.
for 3 out of the last 6 FNCS finals. That statistic alone showcases the fact that I think this NA East duo is certainly going to pack a pretty vicious punch for the rest of these regions.
Aïe aïe aïe.
Very special treat for you fans here, and of course viewers at home. Guess what? Kelly Link is standing by with Booga and Miro.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Joining me right here, I got Miro and Bugha for a quick interview. Bugha, it's been 3 long years since your iconic World Cup win. What is it like to finally be back on stage in front of all of these people playing?
I'm super excited. I mean, it's super cool to be back in in-person events, and hope they bring more in the future, of course. But yeah, just hoping for the best, honestly.
Yeah, of course. And Miro, talking about the game, of course, you guys are not only uncontested, but it also seems like there's not too many teams around you on the south side. What are your plans to handle Storm Surge?
I mean, as of right now, we're uncontested. We'll see what happens. We're gonna try not to leak too many strats, but I think we'll be okay.
I love it. The confidence coming in from these two guys right here. Make some noise for Bugha and Miro, and let's head on back to the desk.
Il fait partie de la team Dignitas? Putain.
Fans, you guys can make some noise. That's okay. You want to be cheering on this duo, right? They got me. They got me. They're still waking up. It's all good. Now, we have to talk about more of the duos we're going to be seeing compete today. Is there another maybe duo that you have eyes on right
Attends, juste. Il est bien là, King? Ouais, il est là. Ok.
Well, that's the beautiful part about the FNCS Invitational is that we do have that international representation. And Alex and Bailey are a must mention from Oceania because they have had an absolutely phenomenal Chapter 3 performance so far. They've only been getting better with each season of Chapter 3. They started out with 3rd place in...
J'ai l'impression qu'ils sont pareils, genre ses frères, ils sont frères.
So guess what? Season 1 was. That's right. They were the FNCS champions of the most recent season coming into this FNCS Invitational. And their dedication to the grind did not stop there either because they have been absolutely dominating in Cash Cup performances as well. Alex even, I believe, tweeting at one point, 10 first place finishes in those Cash Cups alone. So the consistency is definitely there for this duo.
And the thing that I love is the confidence.
Oh,
right
ils
here.
ont une name.
Bailey's name in game. Bailey on height. Man, I wonder how he's going to be playing today, going for the higher gun. Honestly, listen, the great thing about being here in person is that I am actually able to go into the practice room, kind of stand behind some of these players. And last night,
Ils ont une name. Oh là là.
And they won the scrim game that I was watching.
Honnêtement, moi je vois King. En vrai, s'il est en forme aujourd'hui, il peut la gagner. Mais sauf que ouais, là il a des ennemis coriaces. Hein. En vrai, je ferais bien si un Malibu Camerstatch. Hein. Honnêtement, je verrai un Malibu Camerstatch. Oh, Epic Whale, franchement, c'est le joueur pro le plus gentil, je pense. Il est trop gentil, ce mec.
It is none other than Epic Whale, but it doesn't just stop there. 3rd place at World Cup, and then of course the most recent international event as well. He is on an absolute tear right now, and he always looks so good. But the thing that I love about Epic Whale is that he is able to adapt to almost any situation. So much so that one season he even transitioned to controller. Of course, now he is back on that keyboard and mouse, but showing that he is so versatile is what is important to me.
My favorite part about this duo as well is that collectively they have 8 FNCS championship titles to their name, which actually ties them for 1st place with Bugha and Miro of all duos. So this could be an excellent opportunity here for Epic Whale and Reed to establish once and for all who really has the most championship titles to their name.
13 minutes. Aïe 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 aïe. Oh, j'attends ça depuis 2019, vraiment. Epic Whale.
Another quick interview. Epic Whale, everyone knows that the 6X in your name stands for how many FNCS titles you currently hold. What has the preparation been like so that you turn that into 7X?
Yeah, just a lot of VOD reviewing with our coach and like watching our own games back, watching other players from other regions, and just always improving like from the Elite Cups and stuff.
Right, I love it. And Reed, you're known to be aggressive from time to time. Are we going to be seeing that classic Reed aggression today?
Wesh, il sue déjà Epic Whale. T'es mal son front.
What I want to see, I'm going to hold you to that 20 bomb, everyone. Let's head on back to the desk.
Oh boy. Reed, you can't just be saying that, man. I'm looking for a 20 bomb. We'll see how that all unfolds. Well, that's just a sneak peek at some of the competitors. Let's see how others feel about the competition.
Anything could happen, like it's a tight matchup, they're both really good teams.
A lot of people think they're one of NA's best teams. I think they're pretty down here, actually.
We're going to get out there and go in and clean it up every game. This is going to be crazy.
So at Cloudy Condos, we got Aqua, Reason, we have Mustache Malabuka, and then we have Tayson and Chapix. So obviously those 3 teams are like a lot of people's favorites to win it.
Early combos is pretty highly contested. I mean, it's edge map, you know, easy dead side rotates. The loot's pretty strong. Definitely Aqua or Reason are going to take at least one game, you know, they're high ground kings.
It really depends on like who is gonna like land on the one side alone and third way the other team.
We've heard some rumors that Merstash and Malibuka are contesting us. We don't know if it's true, but if it is, we're ready. Just come.
I think Malibuka and Merstash are kind of playing like the third man out, and it's mainly Tayson and Chapix fighting.
Malibuka and Merstash are insane fighters. It's gonna be a very fun contest.
At Genesis, we have Pink and Anas versus Clicks and Dukes. I think there's not enough loot for two teams, so I think they're definitely going to fight each other.
I think Pink and Anas will come out on top most games.
If it comes down to like a just straight up 2v2 fight where they both have loot, then I think Clicks and like, because obviously Clicks and Dukes, they're definitely better
good
fighters.
fighters.
They're way better fighters than Pink.
I don't know about way better.
They're way better fighters than Pink.
Maybe a little better.
Although I think Pink is gonna come out on top, we're gonna see if Clicks.
Ah, c'est Pink, c'est pour ça qu'il s'est fait. Ah, d'accord.
With Joneses, if you want to have good loot, you really have to win it, so you have to be prepared to beat your opponent.
There's like two sides of Joneses.
They will split.
Yeah, they might split it.
I think if we fight Anas or Clicks, not gonna do good in Joneses. They can come to Greasy, that's fine, but not like Joneses, not good.
Then over at Groom Gables, we have Muzz and Looter conning Smite and Larson. In this fight, it's interesting. I think obviously since there's the hill and then there's also just down below, I don't think there's any world where these two teams fight.
King il spawn en haut à droite, à gauche plutôt.
Points, you know?
I don't know if the hill's enough loot.
The Mucklada Mountain's plenty of loot. People do that. They do that all the time.
I don't know, maybe.
If they wanna come out on top and do well in the tournament, I think that they have to like not take the fight, but try to gain ground because it has really good strong points around it.
I've played with Luda before, and he's crazy.
I honestly think it could be a 50-50. The POI is kind of just like one house.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
Et King, on le voit jamais?
I'm going to lose my mind. We're almost there. Now, we've had a chance to kind of talk about the outside looking in. Let's actually talk about the game itself.
Yeah.
We have to talk about some of these POIs, man, because it's looking like it's going to be messy.
There's going to be a lot of action going on in the early game.
Il y a 5 personnes à tilted. Wow.
Going to be tested. Tilted Towers. I don't know what's going on over there. A whole party. Looks like 5 duos are wanting to fight for that. But then Cloudy Condos. Here we go. 3 duos landing there. Taco. All of them being EU.
And not just any EU duos. You're looking at Tayson and Chapix, Aqua and Reason, as well as Merstash and Malibuka. 3 European duos that could arguably walk away here, either champions of this FNCS Invitational or in the top 5 at the very least. But the fact that they're all contesting each other is the most incredible aspect here, Vivid, especially when you factor in that you've got Tayson and Chapix who love playing the high ground, going up against the original high ground king of EU with Aqua.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's pretty much 2 ways that this kind of POA can work out, right? They can kind of split their loot and be happy with it, but that's not really advantageous, right? There's so much loot there that you want for yourself. Now let's talk about the other options.
Eux, je les vois bien. Eux, je les vois gagner.
In the Elite Cup just a week ago, where Malibuka and Merstash got 2nd place from this exact same situation. Basically, what was going down was Tayson and Chapix were basically just straight up 50-50 in Aqua and Reason on the south side, and then Malibuka and Merstash were just running right in afterwards, cleaning up, and walked away again with that 2nd place in that Elite Cup.
And you know what's coming now, right? That's right, it's an interview, but this time we've got our in-game analyst, Mini Miner, standing by. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Zeke. Now, I couldn't be more excited to be alongside 2 titans of the European region. We've got Tayson and Malibuka alongside me here. This is exciting. Tayson, to kick things off, you are one of the online GOATs. You are considered as one of the best players online. How can you transfer that into this in-person experience today?
Lui, c'est un malade. Lui, faut pas le faire chier. En même temps, après, c'est Tayson, hein. Tayson, lui, Falcon, ils ont du bol de l'avoir. Hein. Bon, Falcon, leurs t-shirts sont pas ouf, mais voilà quoi, il faut pas le dire. Ah, Malibuka en ce moment, man. Honnêtement, eux deux là, je les verrais bien gagner. Déjà, ils sont pas dans le top 10. Ouais, ils sont pas dans le top 7, je me coupe une couille, honnêtement. Eux, ils sont trop forts. Après, à 2, je les ai jamais vus jouer. Hein.
go out from our off spawn, and we won't die even once.
Il est allemand, ça se voit.
Now, Zeke, I want to hear more about the next head-to-head.
Man, these players are stone cold eliminators, baby. I am ready for all of this action. Let's talk about another duo, another head-to-head matchup we have to break down. I think for me, the key kind of takeaway and thing to consider is there's 7 regions being represented here on this invitational stage, right? So not only am I thinking, what's my meta at home? Wait, what's their meta at home? Oh, I have to fight against that? Good luck.
Kig il spawn, bah il spawn pas là, mais il spawn.
A little bit of a different situation than Cloudy Condos or Tilted Towers, given that it's just a head-to-head standoff between Smite, Larson, and Muzz with Looter. But I'm really curious to see how this actually pans out, because we are getting a little bit of that international region spice, battle of the regions there with NA East and Oshi. But to be fair to Muzz, he has actually been in NA East along with Looter, competing in all of these Elite Cup weekly finals, trying to get as much experience as possible.
Les photos ils sont de bonne qualité en vrai.
Really exciting matchup for them, and when you factor in,
Ils ont un bel appareil photo. Ouais, c'est le seul truc que je dis.
Not to mention his partner Looter, while he was competing in Oceania, he still nearly closed out
Ah,
a match
mais...
point trigger with a 518 point finish there in season 2 as well for chapter 3.
And then of course, Muzz being the only player actually to win an FNCS on multiple regions. He did it on OCE.
Ça va être une dinguerie là dans 6 minutes là. Aïe aïe aïe. Ils se placent tous. Tout le monde se place. Je sais pas si là ils sont en train de s'entraîner et tout. Aïe 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 aïe. King avec son Apex Pro TKL qui va faire du sale. C'est le Logitech G Pro Wireless. Aïe 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 aïe. Oh yeah. Il y a 5 duos à cheated. Oh là 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 là. Ça va être incroyable les gars.
Throughout the entirety of chapter 3, there were 36 finals games played, right? Fabs and Snacky only went 2 out of those 36 games without receiving any actual elims. So, with 4 other duos there to contest at Tilted Towers, it's not just a prime opportunity for them to keep boosting that stat metric, but it also kind of indicates the fact that whether or not they're the ones walking away from Tilted Towers by the end of it all, they're taking somebody else with them.
So absolutely insane. Now, guess what? Another interview coming your way. Mini Miner, what you got?
4 minutes 30. J'ai jamais été aussi excité de ma vie sur une compétition Fortnite.
Well, there is a big difference, that's for sure. I definitely think OC is obviously easier and
Eux ils sont nouveaux.
skill set, but I made sure to come a month early so I could learn the lobbies as much as I could to do as good as I can over these next 2 days.
That's great to hear, man. Now, of course, Smite, you had your best FNCS performance in Chapter 3 Season 1. You had a 3rd, and in that season you were uncontested.
Il a quel âge lui? Lui frérot il a 17 ans, 18.
Well, when you're uncon, you obviously have the advantage of leaving with fully stacked loot and you can fully focus on Surge, but when you're fighting a team off spawn, you have that advantage of also leaving with Storm Surge right off the bat.
Yeah.
So it's also an advantage at the same time.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
We'll see what happens.
2 ways to look at it. Now, just quickly, we'll ask you guys, what do you think the score's going to be off spawn? The all-important question.
Hop, craquage d'épaule de coude.
But I don't think that's going to happen. That's unrealistic. I think it's going to be more like 8-4, 9-3, something like that.
Okay, Smite, just quickly.
I'm thinking a full 12-0 right here.
12-0. They both think they're going to win off spawn.
Attends, eux ils spawn à tilted du coup.
Thank you so much, Mini Miner. My goodness. We've had a chance to hear from some of the players, talk about the game. I want to just take a quick moment here to introduce you to
Mais en fait ils sont 3, non ils sont 5 duos. C'est incroyable hein. Ça fait 10 personnes à tilted, c'est énorme hein. En MM on va dire que ça passe, en MM ça va, mais par contre là quand t'es dans une compétition comme As, 2 minutes 50.
Better, and already you see the content, like the real interview pieces where we get to read the players, read the room. Yep. There's a lot of contested, there's a lot of fights that are going to play out.
Yeah, and like I'm saying, and it said it kind of before earlier.
Salut Somélis, comment tu vas?
These players, they're really good friends. They like to sit in the same Discord, they talk, they play Fortnite together all the time. But when that battle bus starts, Monster, they're no longer friends. They're looking at each other like they're the enemy.
Yeah, definitely. You see the Pink and a Nas.
Aïe, 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 aïe.
Pink versus Clicks.
2 minutes.
That might be going down there as well. So that's us. We're gonna be calling all types of action this weekend. Zeke, thanks for checking in with us. Hey, thank you so much. My goodness, we are not that far from
On est combien sur le live?
competition. I just want to get your guys' kind of quick thoughts here as we prepare.
Je suis juste 2 secondes s'il y a sur Twitch aussi ça live.
The first 6 games of the FNCS Invitational.
I straight up expect the crowd to be loud. We already heard when some of those interviewee names are called, the crowd was going crazy. When the action really starts to kick off, I want these players to fuel themselves with the energy.
9500.
Really just take home a real solid, clean game number 1. But then also, you know,
Bon ça super, hein, franchement super, là franchement c'est... Là j'attendais ce live depuis 2019, et là il est là. Et on nous a offert un commentatage, ouais bon t'inquiète t'as compris, de qualité. Les joueurs là ils rentrent là. Allez King Peach, j'espère que t'es dans une bonne forme, une bonne...
That's right, and some of these duos, man, this is their first time in a setting like this, right? To have an amazing crowd like all of you here in person.
50 secondes.
Sure, you guys are just screaming your heads off. It is almost that time to start the show. So for now, let's go on over to Adam and Kelly.
Yes, Zeke, it is getting very close now. This is it. Audience, North Carolina, are you ready for this? I am so excited, Kelly. We're so close now to the beginning of the FNCS Invitational.
And I cannot wait for what we are about to show everyone. But guys, we know what you're here for. You're here for the games. You're here for the players. So in just 5 seconds, I'm going to need your help for the countdown, everyone. All right? Join me. 10, 9, 10.
Right now! Ce Diar, comment tu vas? Ça commence! Fou. Oh, hello my friend! Welcome in my channel! Aïe aïe! Germany! Wow! Yeah! YouTube.
Hello there, and welcome to FNCS Invitational 2022, live here in Raleigh, North Carolina!
Wow! Wow! Bamoso! Putain, c'est magnifique en vrai ce qu'ils sont fait. Là, c'est beau.
We will be your host over the next 2 days. And in those 2 days, you guys will witness 12 incredible games of Fortnite. 50 of the best duos around the world, representing 7 regions, will not just be duking it out for the $1 million prize pool. They won't just be fighting for the pride and prestige. They're going to be fighting for that trophy right there.
Can we get an ooh? I'm getting goosebumps here, Kelly. We've set the scene here for you guys. We've had a chance to talk to the broadcast team. We've seen you guys in the audience looking amazing. But now, are you ready to meet the stars of this show? It's time to meet the players!
Ouais! Allez! Yes, Fortnite. Une World Cup. Mini World Cup. 2022. Oh là là, les zou. Vadil, Janice. Eux aussi ils peuvent large gagner. Je veux voir mon King là. King il a trop de flow. Falcon Andilex, un français, ouais. Nous avons notre français. Eux aussi peuvent large gagner. Eux aussi. Donc eux ils peuvent faire une bonne perf, mais je pense pas qu'ils peuvent gagner. Wow.
I cannot believe with just 10 players coming out, the Raleigh Convention Center are absolutely losing their minds. I hope you guys have enough in the tank until we got another 40 duos, so please don't pass out. That was just the first 10. What are thoughts?
We're stacked. We are stacked. I haven't even seen the rest of the. We're stacked. We're stacked, right? Snacky and Faz being one of those dominant duos.
Et King, je veux voir mon King.
First 10 to present. Listen, they're on a hot streak right now. Coming out of the NA West region, back-to-back FNCS wins in Season 1 and Season 2 of this chapter, followed by a third place as well.
But you can't forget about Pink and Anas either. This European powerhouse, I think, is going to be absolutely one to keep an eye out for, and I'm really excited to see them clash out over in Fort Jonesy with Clicks and Dukes.
And of course, he's got the pink hair too, so he's easy to recognize.
Easy to recognize. Now that was just the 10. Let's welcome the next 10.
Belle Savage. Wow. Savage qui a trop de flow, ce mec. Je l'aime. Théma le flow qu'il a, ce boog. Allez King, je veux voir du King. Oh là là. T'as Savage le flow qu'il a. Ah, il présente peut-être par région là. Non, je pense pas. Noirelli, Bat Sniper. Le français Noirelli. Je l'aime Noirelli. Oh là là. Bon, Attends, ils ont fait le Naruto Run ou je rêve? King, il va faire quoi en rentrant? Mersach, Malibuka. Oh là 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 là. Eux, ils peuvent tout déglinguer. Eux, à tout moment, ils défoncent le stade. Hein. Ils savent trop bien jouer ensemble. Aïe 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 aïe. Alex et Bailly. Eux, je les connais pas, mais... T'inquiète. Allez, je veux voir mon chou, là. Non, c'est pas là. Je veux voir mon bébé d'amour. Oh, on est dans le setup de Clix. Il a quoi, une Glorious Modelo? Bah lui, il a son clavier.
Absolutely, and Duke as well. I'm going to ask you, quite new to in-person events, but being here, this experience so far, being around the players, the audience, how are you feeling going into this?
I'm feeling great. It's like, the experience is insane. I'm loving it.
You're absolutely loving it. Are you guys loving it too? All right, Clix and Duke, thank you so much, guys. And let's over to Kelly and see who she's with.
From one Savage to another.
Savage!
Mr. Savage and iDrop here. Now, iDrop, I know that you guys are going to be contested on drop. Are you planning on fighting or splitting?
100% fighting. I've had it uncon for 12 months on the best region, so we're definitely fighting.
I love it. Mr. Savage, I heard that it's your birthday today.
Savage!
On three, can we give Mr. Savage a big happy birthday? 1, 2, 3. Alright guys, good luck in game number 1, and let's head on to the next 10 players.
Please welcome Cloud and Restart with the powerhouse performance in chapter 3.
Je veux voir mon king d'amour là, vraiment. Il est pas là, je le veux. Toujours pas. Toujours pas. Allez, King. Toujours pas. Toujours pas. Je veux voir du King. Toujours pas. Toujours pas. Faites-moi pas plus attendre, s'il vous plaît. Toujours pas. Je veux voir du King là. Mais ils ont quel âge? Et toujours pas. Eh, je veux voir mon King d'amour là. S'il te plaît.
30 duos. You can already tell. This is gonna be some of the craziest Fortnite.
Je veux voir mon King, s'il vous plaît, montrez-le-moi. J'ai envie de le voir right now. Ouais, il l'a dit pareil que moi. Right now. Je pense il va choisir un flow de bâtard. Hein. King, il a toujours du flow. El King.
Up in the leaderboards, but what I want to see them do as a duo more specifically is kind of take that to the next level. You've made top 10 before, but let's see you actually win it all.
There you go, win it all. Tall task, especially seeing these 30 duos that have walked out already.
That's right, man. Well, baby, guess what? We got another 10 for you. So, Raleigh, make some noise.
El King, El King, El King. Toujours pas. Toujours pas. Eh là c'est bon, là tu me le présentes là. Toujours pas. Pourtant c'est région Brésil, c'est écrit. Toujours pas. Mais wesh. Mais montrez-le-moi, bordel de merde. Mais toujours pas, mais montrez-le-moi, s'il vous plaît. Mais allez, mais... Ça... S'il vous plaît, mais j'ai envie de le voir. Oh, c'est lui là-bas, non? Non, toujours pas. Ouah, tous les cheveux qu'il a, le mec. Il aura pas de calvitie. Mais allez, je veux le voir. Eh, bro, il y a beaucoup de waves, hein, c'est incroyable. Hein. Il y a 3 tonnes de waves. The Andy qui est très fort aussi. Toujours pas. Oh le PSG.
Just being here in front of all these people with this big, beautiful stage, what are you feeling?
I feel really great. Like, this is so cool. I mean, Raleigh showed up, Fortnite community showed up, players showed up, like, everyone's excited. I don't know, I'm hyped for this. Like, it's so awesome.
I'm super hyped as well, and I know that you recently ran a tournament where it was just all goo guns. Obviously, thankfully, we're not going to be seeing any goo guns today, but what do you hope to see?
Okay, real quick, I didn't run that. That was Beach Cobbler. I played in it, did really bad. I'm really excited to see people just, like, push for high ground and, like, just do, like, really exciting plays and stuff. I'm excited to see people like 1v2 and clutch up and just like all those classic like Fortnite LAN moments. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be so awesome.
I cannot wait as well, and I believe everyone that we have 10 more players to introduce. So let's head on over to Jacob and MDF.
King! Mais je l'aime ce mec! King, mais il a trop de flow ce bâtard! Putain! C'est le King les gars! King est là! Il est présent! Il est là pourquoi? Pour déglinguer des mères, d'accord? Aujourd'hui, King, il va gagner FNCS Invitational. Il va tout défoncer. Clix, il l'a défoncé au truc je sais plus quoi, la RNG, je sais pas quoi, NRG. Là, frérot, il va le bouffer. Il va le bouffer, frérot. King va bouffer tout le monde. Aïe aïe aïe, j'ai vu mon King là, je suis heureux là. Aïe aïe aïe. N. Yeah. N c'est un baiser. N c'est un baiser. Il dit à tout le monde qu'ils ont un petit zizi et tout. Tyson. En vrai, il y a beaucoup de Falcon, c'est bien. Allez. Oh, il a fait la danse Bouga. Bon, Bouga, j'espère juste qu'il va pas gagner parce que il mérite pas, frérot. C'est King qui mérite de gagner. C'est le boss King. Let's go, man. Et vous allez me voir gueuler même si j'ai plus de voix. Hein. Là, en plus, mes parents sont pas à la maison. Mais alors là, il va se passer un charabia là.
King and Ed making a big name for himself at World Cup, of course, being the most aggressive player there.
Ouais, gars, il parle de King. Parce que ce mec est putain d'agressif. Il était 5ème à la Solo World Cup. Et il a été 2ème FNCS.
That's right. I just want to throw some stats at you guys at home. If maybe this hasn't quite set in, you don't understand how insane this is. 15 FNCSs, 105 FNCS events across 7 regions, 88 FNCS championship titles on that stage, 47 FNCS champions on that stage, 27 countries all represented on that stage. And guess what? We're ready to kick off the competition. Adam, let's do this.
Yes, indeed. Can we get a huge round of applause for Thomas?
J'espère qu'ils vont présenter King, s'il vous plaît. Ah, ils vont présenter Bouga, c'est sûr. Bouga, c'est sûr, ils vont présenter. Et vous allez me dire, je suis casse-couille avec King, hein, mais putain. Oh. Il y avait plus de son, j'ai eu peur. Lui, il est stressé à mort. Ouais. Aïe aïe.
This is an incredible opportunity and experience. Obviously, playing in front of a live audience as well. How hyped are you guys as a duo right now?
Well, this is my first LAN. It's an honor.
C'est sa première LAN. Oh, wesh.
It's just unbelievable.
You guys are unbelievable. We've also got as well to talk about obviously last season's win. 1 point.
J'ai Pro Wireless, Apex Protecel. Apex Protecel aussi. Ah, il a des piles de recharge et tout. Bah c'est pas à pile. Si, c'est à pile. Je crois que c'était à batterie. Oh, j'ai cru qu'ils avaient présenté King, je suis un peu déçu. Et il y a des mecs derrière qui vérifient pour regarder s'il cheat pas. Ici, il y a juste un mec. Ils ont fait 25 kills. Après, ils ont fait 310 points, mais avec 0 victoire. Hein. Quand en vrai, ils ont fait des beaux matchs. En vrai. Eh, vous en pensez quoi de mon t-shirt? T-shirt fleuri et tout. Ah, pour rappeler l'été, il fait toujours aussi chaud.
To see them compete on that international space because we are looking as well at the European FNCS champions from Chapter 3 Season 3. That's Giannis and Vidil. They are a dynamic duo. They don't want to mess around. Even at one of the intro videos that we saw, what was the first thing that Vidil said? You want to contest us? That's fine. 3 points for us.
The confidence. Listen, I love the confidence out of everybody. Also, you know, shout
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Il y a un problème?
Because like his interview went, yeah, I'm playing with Thomas. We're going to do great. Like it literally can't go bad. That is a lot of trust in your duo right there. Love that.
You love to see it. Talking about Vidil and Janice, they are currently uncontested at Greasy Grove. What does this mean for this duo? Having a POI uncontested that literally 6 other regions and even your own said, no, you can have that. That's fine.
Listen, this is how it goes, okay? You pretty much get to play all 12 games, right? But because you aren't contested plus one, you aren't finding any of those early fights. So you have to go forcefully find some of these fights, and it can be very, very hard when the pressure's on, the nerves are kicking in, the audience is cheering on the stage. You know, you're thinking about it, man, do I really want to go take that fight? Do I really want to go get that Storm Surge? So they have to be confident in those routes.
C'est vrai qu'ils ont modifié la Storm Surge il y a pas longtemps. Du coup là, ça va être vraiment... Ah là, il y aura de l'action, mon pote, hein.
It's another entirely to be in front of a live audience where when you got the cheers going behind you, you never know where that momentum might actually influence you to go next. I wouldn't be surprised for some of these players to really have to hone in on a lot of that mental discipline to not let themselves get distracted by any of the flashing lights or the noise. Just stick to what they know.
That's right. Let's talk about another duo, Clicks and Duke. We actually got to hear from them via Adam.
Clicks avec son clavier.
Yeah, their crowd's already going absolutely ham. Clicks fans, rise up. What can we expect from this duo?
Listen, I'm excited, right? Because Clicks has been improving from season to season, day to day as an IGL, teaming up with Duke, of course, who is very, very good mechanically. You know, I saw him in the practice room, always grinding the creative, always willing to take on pretty much anybody in that room who wanted to give a shot at seeing if they could take him down.
And it's impressive how well Clicks has managed to simultaneously totter between this pro player aspect as well as the heavy side of content creation. I think that it is not very easy to maintain both of those lifestyles, and not only that, but when you have somebody as experienced as Duke right next to you, I can understand where the trust comes from this duo, and knowing that they're against Pinkett and Nas potentially at Fort Jonesy, I do believe we heard them mentioning though a possibility of just splitting at the start.
Well, listen, I love the fact that you mentioned content, right? Because listen, you know, he's used to that, right? He wants the reactions. He posts that content to get reactions. And here, what other better place to get reactions than from a live crowd? So maybe he'll just straight up embrace it, and it'll fuel him.
That's right. I have to highlight this duo, man. Your FNCS Asia champions who are competing on this stage. There they are, Zagu and
Ils ont un problème.
Remember, these are FNCS champions. They literally just won the FNCS that passed, and now we will see them compete. When we look at the stats, man, I'm pretty worried for everybody else.
Listen, we were just talking about, you know, Vidil and Janice, who coming into this event are a lot of people's favorites, right? But right there, they had 310 points in one of those Elite Cups. Right there, I saw them have 344. There's a little bit of competition going on there. And as you can see from the camera shot, I love it. The preparation, they literally have printed out sheets of spots on the map, things that can help them out through this competition, anything to give them the edge.
Ah, ils ont les trucs des spawns et tout sur le côté en papier. Là, c'est une stratégie énorme, là.
I mean, they're up against Kamaman and Avery, right? I feel like this could go really well for one of these duels. It could be really messy. I mean, what do you think, Vivid?
over at the Rave Cave. Listen, I think, you know, ultimately Commandment and Avery are going to be comfortable over there, right? They did win an FNCS from this POI, and of course, you know, Zygu is landing on the outskirts of that. So I don't even know if they're going to take any of those early fights. But again, as the games develops, if they start to struggle on Storm Surge in the later parts of the game, they might want to start taking that early fight.
But there is usually enough space surrounding Rave Cave for duos to not necessarily have to look for those early engagements if they don't want to. And you also have to keep in mind that they're not the only ones that are going to be landing there. There's also going to be Thomas HD and Tripper. That is a notorious favorite spot for them to go, is that south side of the Rave Cave. So curious to see where exactly these zones wind up actually taking these players and how their encounters might actually shape up.
That's right. There is a duo here that is quite terrifying. You know, out of Brazil, not a big deal. The fans of them are up here in the audience. It's King and Ed. I mean, if you... the crazy thing is, King is one of the most...
Oh, mais matez-moi King.
Crowd's already going crazy. There it is. One of the most winningest, one of the
Matez-moi King, mais le flow.
craziest mechanical players you will ever see in your life. But when you pair it up with just stopping power, which he also has by himself, he is a one-man army.
Yeah. Listen, of course,
King. Je l'aime, putain. Il a trop de flow, ce mec. 27 kills, bah tu m'étonnes. Ah, il a mon âge en plus. C'est un 2006.
But the sheer presence that you have as an international player, and I'm speaking about King here because the fact that he actually has
J'ai Pro Wireless, Apex Pro TKL, je connais tous ces périphériques.
NA-based venue, that alone speaks volumes for the kind of impact that he has had on the Fortnite scene.
These guys are uncontested. We already know what this means for everybody else. It means they're going to get a free pass into the mid game. If they are allowed this opportunity, what the heck is
Oh, la game elle se lance.
look to do to try and stop them?
Ouais, les gens, ouais, il y a des gens, ils mettent leur clavier, frérot. Ils mettent à la verticale.
And also just a really quick note there about Ed. He has been steadily improving with each of his performances throughout the entirety of Chapter 3. So if the momentum kind of keeps going in that direction,
Ouais, ça lag, hein.
I don't think that international
Ça lag, ça lag.
disappoint by any means. These guys are amped up. They are ready to showcase their representation for their regions.
That's right. We want to come on over back to
Ça lag, mais ça va commencer, les gars. La partie va commencer. Au bout de 58 minutes de live. La partie commence maintenant. Êtes-vous prêts? Êtes-vous ready, man? Are you ready? Before, after, yeah, man. Do you like a Fortnite? Oh, la souris, je la veux. Oh, celle-là, je la veux. Bon, du coup, est-ce que vous êtes prêts? Est-ce que vous êtes prêts pour un commentary exceptionnel? Je sais pas, il y aura combien de games? 6 ou 10, je sais pas. Êtes-vous ready? Parce que là, franchement, ah là, je suis plus que ready. Là, je saute de ma chaise, là. Honnêtement, moi, je suis pour King. Même s'il y a des Français, hein. Je m'en fous de soutenir mon pays, je m'en fous. Moi, ce que je veux, c'est que King gagne. Parce que c'est mon joueur préféré et je le veux. C'est comme tous les gens qui sont pour le Real Madrid et qui sont pas pour Paris. C'est ça qui est con. Et bah moi c'est pareil. Je suis quand un mec qui vit au Brésil. Moi je m'en fous. Parce que lui c'est le meilleur joueur ever die. Et ouais. Du coup, voilà.
Listen, some of them, they're looking locked in, right? They're looking like focused. They're not even thinking about the crowd. They don't even see the crowd beyond the monitors right now, which is really, really good.
Ils ont tous un Apex Pro TKL. Lui, Apex Pro TKL. Lui, je sais pas.
These events, it's a different atmosphere. We talk about it time and time again. It is not the same as playing in your room at all. You will have all these lights, you know, maybe the
Apex Pro TKL. En fait, ils ont tous ce clavier. Parce que c'est le meilleur clavier du monde.
Simply because of, you know, slight changes in how I was used to sitting.
It's just not your home setup, and that's going to be naturally difficult for any.
Ouais, déjà un défaut.
No matter how much in-person or LAN experience they might actually.
Ici, Apex Pro TKL. Et l'autre, j'arrive pas à voir. Oh, il est fatigué. Il baille, il est fatigué. Va, il est fatigué. Il va pas perf.
tricks. I want to know how many of them like taking their shoes off, for example, because it's just that it adds that extra little safety net of just, hey, I feel more like I'm at my in-home environment.
Yeah, 100%. And this is all like, I know it sounds like, oh, take your shoes off. That's like a joke right now. This is legitimately, man. Like, when a player is comfortable, they will perform better. It's proven. Why don't we hang out with we got Tokata, Mini Miner? Are you guys in the player area?
We are indeed, Zeke. Now, some of these players might have their shoes off, but we've got our thinking hats on about this day today at Takata. I mean, we've got 2 days of Fortnite action. I'm excited. We're going to be breaking everything down tomorrow and today, of course, but how excited are you?
Look, I'm incredibly excited, right? There's so many storylines that have yet to be built, right? We have Malibuka and Merstash going against European GOATs, Titans, right? Tayson and Chapix down in the cloudy condos, and even with the third duo there, Aqua Reason, with a possible third party, I'm excited to see that.
Allez là, je veux regarder. Je sais pas, il gagne quoi? Bah, il gagne 200 000 balles, mais je pense qu'il gagne des pioches, une skin et tout. Savage, il drop où? Il drop tilted. Oh, si Savage drop it tilted, oh là là.
Be on the lookout for some changes. Be on the lookout for some of these players and teams that are thinking, actually, you know what? Let's switch things up. Let's go for plan B, plan C, plan D, plan Z, maybe. Who knows? That's what I love about Fortnite.
J'ai même pas fait ma pub sur Instagram.
What's actually going to happen, right? We might be able to see the drop map, see what these duos have planned ahead of time, but who knows? Maybe they have a not so great game one.
Maybe.
To change things up, or maybe even after halftime, right? 3 games down, you're like, okay, we're not doing too good. We got to change something out, but I'm excited to see who's going to be able to show that they've been practicing. They have been in the player lounge going against each other, even in creative, you know, doing 1v1s, 2v2s. And I mean, there's so much to see. I really just can't wait.
So much to see, so much to do, and I can feel the energy in the arena right now. But Zeke, please take it away. We're too hyped.
Bro, I'm right there with you, man. I just cannot wait to see all of the action unfold before our very eyes. We're almost there. Just a couple little things before we start the battle bus on its journey. I wanted to highlight another duo, Cammy and Seti, right? For you longtime EU fans as well, you know these guys recently just won a DreamHack. They've literally came in 1st and 2nd place in a solos competition. They were the best 2 players at the tournament.
You know, and the thing that I love about Cammy and Seti is that individually they kind of remind me of myself. Right?
Vous croyez que là j'ai le temps d'aller me chercher un petit peu à manger?
Game play style.
Ok, j'arrive.
Too risky. They're just gonna play their game out and play that top 10, top 5 consistent every single game because they are laying at that mid-map spot uncontested.
Yeah, the infamous Cammy split, as everybody in EU and just about the world has basically come to know. Exactly, but I am curious to see how their surge management actually unfolds throughout the entirety of Chapter 3. I don't think that they really had too many issues with it, but it is important to note that for this duo specifically, they don't really like fighting early. And, well, fortunately, having an uncontested drop spot can definitely feed into that. So naturally, you want to wonder where their points are going to come from or where their surge management is going to come from. And I think that that is something that they're largely just going to have to control throughout their mid-game.
Yeah, they also have to be very, very careful when they're landing there in the center of the map. There are a lot of teams landing around them, especially, you know, we think about Tilted Towers right to the left of kind of where they're landing. And then also,
Ok, je suis là.
You know, Cold and Tendon are expected to be contested there at that loot late kind of area. So if any of those teams kind of want to disengage from
Nickel.
early spawn fight situations, they could easily run over to the split that Cammy and Teddy are looking to take and maybe gather up to move themselves, which could force a fight. And that's really just advantageous for Cammy and Teddy because they're going to be split right there at these split shots. So they're usually off on their own.
Apex Pro TKL, Apex Pro TKL, le Apex Pro TKL.
We had a game plan. We did not find the chest. We did not find the thing. We got tagged. Someone has pushed on our like location. We need to change up something. What does that look like, man? Right? Like, if this was EU FNCS, I'd be like, oh yeah, no problem. I got all the notes for you. But it's NA East, it's NA West, it's Asia, BR, OCE. You know, there's so many other regions that you have to kind of be accounting for. And not only their own meta, it's the own that duo, right? Like, oh,
Apex.
they're from BR and they do this. Oh, great.
Ça c'est un Logitech. Apex. Ça c'est un Ducky One ou un Apex Mini. Apex. Logitech, Apex. Logitech, Apex Pro. Apex Pro, Apex Pro.
And the competitive lobby metas that you'll often see break out throughout the course of
Y a que ça.
games this weekend. I think that that is going to be a really crucial aspect for some of these teams to hone in on. We know that these players have been cramming VOD review leading up to today.
Yeah.
We know that they're going to be doing plenty more of it after these 6 games are even played tonight. But as far as Gaming Insider are concerned, just touching back on them, I like the fact that you brought up the early game engagements because honestly, their all-time record, by the way, first 3 zones, they have a less than 5% of elim scoring throughout those first 3 zones. So they don't like the early game engagements.
That is absolutely crazy indeed. You know, a duo I feel like could be a dark horse in the competition that I really want to see kind of win it all. It's Acorn and Edgy. Edgy over in NA has come second place. So close, so many times. Paired up with Acorn. Look, we know this duo is absolutely incredible. They are some of the toppest caliber duo that NA has to offer.
Yeah.
But Edgy just hasn't been able to grasp that #1 spot. And what I feel like for me to come out of this event and say, I'll walk away with the Swarovski trophy, baby, that'd be pretty sweet.
Look at Edgy waving. What's up, Edgy?
Wesh, il dort le mec. Mais c'est pas drôle en fait.
Edgy loves it, man. You know, we're laughing at him getting, you know, second place 4 times. He himself, you know, laughs about it. Look at.
Non, si le mec de montrer du tatoueur c'était drôle. Par contre, le mec qui fait style de dormir, c'est pas drôle.
Coming into this event. Unfortunately, they are contested by a plethora of other teams over at Tilted Towers. I really think that if they were uncontested, they could probably run away with this event. We'll have to see what happens. I still think it's possible. I think it's a little bit less likely, but I was watching Acorn, you know, yesterday, last night, even into the later night, 10, 11 o'clock. He was still VOD reviewing all the way up until then, so I'd love to see the practice coming out of this duo.
But it's the fact that there's 5 duos at Tilted Towers, and literally none of them are willing to budge from this spawn. They all want their piece of the pie here at Tilted Towers, and whether or not this engagement could end up being worthwhile for the duo that even walks away, because when you think about it, Vivid, there might have to be a ton of resources expended.
Yeah, we cannot forget. Here they are, Queasy Vino. We talked about them at the beginning of the show, and like a circle, we find ourselves back.
Queasy, ça fait bizarre d'avoir les cheveux coupés. Avant, il a les cheveux longs, il faisait un petit chignon. Oh, Queasy qui s'est fait bouffer par King. King, il les a 1v2. Là, eux deux, là, King, il les a 1v2. Et Théma, frérot. C'est quoi ça, c'est un Apex Pro aussi? Bah ouais, normalement. Un Apex Pro Mini. Oh ouais, ça bug hein.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Vino, I VOD reviewed him for this event. This is an international event. I'm typically on the NA side of things, but you know, let me dabble in EU so that way I'm prepared for this event. I'm watching Vino. Individually, like I said, I've never
ça joue manette là.
I was
Manette aussi.
He seems so clean. Every single action that he does, it's
là pour l'instant, j'ai l'impression qu'on a 2 joueurs manette.
I genuinely have never seen that out of an individual player ever.
There's a reason why he's often regarded as one of the best fraggers in Fortnite competitive history right now. And not only that, but he's got a perfect IGL to match that. Queasy is notorious for being an absolute genius for his IGLing. And I think something that I love about Queasy is that his stats also speak for themselves because...
Eh, il a un pif Queasy, c'est aberrant. Non, pardon, Théma. Frérot, le mec il prend sa souris dans les mains, on la voit plus la souris. Genre vraiment.
Without being a consistent IGLer, he just knows how to stay cool, calm, and collected in every single competitive environment.
And I love the fact that you're bringing up the IGLing aspect, right? You know, a lot of these dudes are going to be making a lot of calls. Queasy, what he is known for is his very clean, high ground takes. It just always seems so methodical and flawless whenever he does it. So the pairing is very, very well. And then that's not even like one of the most exciting parts is they always seem to find those mid-game dead side rotations that work out so well that keep them alive into the end game very consistently.
And it's kind of like having a silver bullet, right? You have, you know, they're ready to go. If you're Queasy, you're just thinking, okay, I need to go accomplish this goal. I'm going to point my silver bullet in the direction. There's an enemy over there I don't like. Vino, why don't you just go 1v2 them for us and then bring their loot and ammo back and builds, and then I'm going to be up on high ground, okay? I'll see you in 30 seconds. So that's not a joke.
I'm laughing because, you know, 1v2s, right? They seem impossible, especially on the international stage. But no, like, literally, Vino, he just does it so often, and I cannot wait to get to the game.
That's right. Guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, Fortnite fans, we're ready. The battle bus is all ready. The players are on board. So let's do this. It's game number 1.
Let's go les gars.
Here we go. It is time. Is one just big moment away from really kicking it off. All that preparation.
Première game.
Put it into it. The battle bus is ready. Let's go, Jacob.
It is time. Game number 1 of the FNCS Invitational starts right now. 27 different countries are represented. 88 different champions. Overall, this is just amazing.
And just look at the concentration on the players' faces as they start to populate.
Ok, le bus. On a un début de bus pour King qui est assez bien. Ok.
Yeah, and already looking at the drop path, one of the biggest ones is going to be over towards Rave Cave, where you have Commandment and Avery, the most
Ok, Thomas HD qui est ici.
champions. They're a little contested. Not going to be a hot fight right out of the gate.
Ok, une petite clé pour Thomas HD. Normalement, il y a un petit coffre-fort ici. Ça farme tranquillement du côté de Thomas HD. Noah Relly qui s'est pris un petit bâtiment pour lui tout seul. Ok, Bad Sniper qui a pris franchement. Là, Noah Relly, ils ont des bons bats. Noah Relly et Bad, ils ont des bons bats. Ok, une petite PM, un petit pistolet, c'est nickel. Et un petit pompe, un mini brume, c'est nickel. Bon, Van Shield, c'est pas énormément, mais bon, voilà, c'est ça de prix. Ok, là, franchement, il a un full stuff aux côtés de Bad Sniper. Il peut fight. Là, franchement, il peut large fight là. Ok, Malibuka, Aqua, Marstach. Ok. Là, ici, ça va fight. Ça va fight. Ok, Aqua qui prend ce bâtiment là. Ouais, il préfère looter derrière parce que ici qu'il va se faire laser sinon. Ok, le petit pompe. Oh. Ok, non, il tient à 2, ok. Ok. Les deux là, ils sont regroupés là. Juste Malibuka et Merstach qui sont... On va dire pas ensemble. Ok, là on a une AR bleue et un petit pompe, c'est super, il manque plus qu'une petite PM. Oh là ça fight.
Now what's crazy about this, I got to sit down with Muzz and Looter. They are feeling exceptionally confident in beating Larson and Smite, but you have to put yourself into this kind of position right now. There's pressure all around you. To me, it's looking like Larson.
Voilà, ça va Smite, ça va fight du côté de Smite. Ça farm tranquillou pilou. Oh.
Is 1 second of separation to kind of do one of these teams in as Brian and Vico over here towards Reality Tree, another contested drop, but you can see this is only game.
Ok, là en fait ils sont dans la grande. Ok, il y a le fight du côté de Smite. Oh, la grosse balle de TNA Muzz. Il reste plus que Smite. Smite va-t-il faire le 1v2? Il est full shield. Il peut très large faire le 1v2. Allez Smite, tu peux le faire. Je crois en toi Smite. Ok, la balle qu'il a mis. Ok, c'est super. Oh, il a moins de 100 HP. Ah, par contre, lui, il a eu le temps de se régène. Il a 2 grosses potes, je pense qu'il va lui donner. Voilà. Ok, Smite. Oh, Smite qui se fait tirer de derrière. Oh, là c'est la merde un peu pour Smite. Smite qui est descendu. Eux ils veulent le chercher hein. Ils veulent le chercher le 2v1. Sauf que là ils sont très bons en heal. Franchement là ça va être hyper compliqué pour Smite de faire le 1v2. Smite qui est au sous-sol. Oh là là, Malibuka, Tyson. Malibuka qui est vraiment très low. Chapix et Tyson sont quasi full shield. Merstach full shield qui a touché un peu Chapix. Ouh là là, il s'est pris une petite teuté. Ok, ça a mis quelques petites balles à Aqua. Rayzon accompagné d'Aqua. Ils essaient de mettre des petits dégâts pour la Storm Surb. C'est nickel. Malibuka qui est toujours aussi low, il est en train de se heal. Ok, là, Malibuka, là, franchement, c'est la merde pour lui. Ah, il voit pas trop. Oh là là! Sacre Raisonneuil! Non, ça, c'est une splash. Il a raté sa splash. Oh, le con. Raison, là, qui s'est pris encore une balle. Raison est très low. Malibuka qui a réussi un peu à se régénérer. Là, Raison, là, vous pouvez le fight, hein, en vrai. Hein. L'air gris, pompe bleue, ils ont beaucoup de soins. Aqua qui s'est pris quelques petites balles. Ok, là il faut farmer, il a plus énormément de build. Ils sont dans Jace qui est tout seul un peu, qui fait un peu sa vie. Ok. Ouf, Basile qui a une petite hammer en or. Il a 4 grosses potes et 6 mini potes. Franchement il est bien, il a beaucoup de build et tout. Il est très très bien. Voilà, je te conseillerais de boire une grosse pote hein, mais... Ok, un petit replay. Oh là 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 là. Là nous avons le petit Bouga là. Petit Bouga et Mero. Franchement là en vrai ils sont bien eux. Ils sont pas réussi à choper de kill mais encore un mec à Shonker. Il y a encore un mec à Shonker. Franchement là pour l'instant ils sont bien, ils sont full vie, full shield. Rapide qui se fait une petite box. Nickel, franchement Antilex et je sais plus qui ils sont bien franchement. Le français, Antilex. Aïe aïe aïe. Je sais pas s'il va garder les trucs Evochrome, je sais pas. Ok, Queasy. Queasy franchement ouais, il s'est pris une petite balle quand même. Le problème c'est qu'il a des splashes et je pense qu'il préfère garder les splashes. Ouh là là. Ça a mis des grosses balles là du côté de Veno. Veno qui a... Waouh 6, 6, 6, 12 plus 6, ça fait 18 splash. Attends, 12 plus 6. Non, ça fait... Si, ça fait 12... Ouais, bon, go. Du coup... Ouais, si, ça fait 18. Ok, Janice qui s'est fait un... Qui a un très bon stuff Janice hein. Franchement je pense que c'est l'un des meilleurs stuff de la partie. Pompe violet, hammer violet. Franchement on est super bien du côté de Janice. Ok là ils ont pris juste les ballons. Ils ont... Ouais j'essaie de faire un peu de dégâts pour la Storm Serve. Ils sucent pas de build. Franchement là pour l'instant ils sont bien. Ils sont posés. Il n'y a pas encore eu de mort ici. Ok, Malibuka qui a un bon pompe bleu là qui fait plaisir. Des splash, un pad, franchement nickel. Merstach aussi qui est bien, il manque juste un peu de balles d'air quand même. Parce que 76 balles d'air c'est vraiment pas ouf. Il est en train de farmer un peu le build. Franchement pour l'instant Merstach, voilà, il manque plus juste des balles d'air et puis c'est bon il est nickel. Ici il y a Chapix et Tyson qui se sont mis en haut à gauche. Ils sont très bien, à part ouais Tyson il manque vraiment des balles d'air aussi. Chapix il en a 114, bon on va dire que ça va. Il a un bon pompe violet là pour faire des grosses bastos. Mais sinon ils sont bien en termes de splash, en termes de heal et tout, ils sont super. Il faut juste qu'ils fassent gaffe parce qu'il y a quelqu'un là, il y a une petite flèche violet. Il faut qu'ils fassent gaffe parce qu'ils prennent pas une balle de snipe ou... Je sais pas s'ils jouent snipe vu que... Ok le coffre-fort qui a été joué par eux. Ah, du coup ils ont un très bon stuff. Il va essayer de mettre des balles pour la Storm Serve. Je sais pas, il joue bizarre. Genre ses doigts et tout ils sont bizarres quand il le place. Ok King. King. Et vous avez vu, on voit King, tout le monde crie. King là qui a un stuff super. Ça c'est un stuff pour rush là. Eh, t'as les trucs de chrome, t'as le truc pour casser les constructions. Franchement la phase King là il est très bien, il est très bien. Là franchement il y a beaucoup de gens qui sont bien. Il y a beaucoup de gens qui me manquent un peu de balles d'air. Là franchement bah, 132 balles de pompe là franchement tu fais 10 games avec ça. Franchement les bleuvageons, 6 splash, 2 barils, il est excellent. Beaucoup de build. Franchement, voilà. Il manque tout petit peu peut-être de balles d'air un peu. Mais sinon, c'est nickel. Malibuka qui est vraiment un stuff, on va dire ça va par l'air qui est grise. Dommage. Franchement, franchement, ils sont hauts. Ok, ça fight Tyson. Mais c'est un malade. Il a mis quelques petits dégâts à Tyson. Attends, mais le mec il voulait vraiment prendre le fight, c'est un malade. En vrai là, honnêtement, je conseille de mettre des splashes, non? Parce qu'à 43 blancs, 51 blancs aussi. Mettez-vous des splashes en commun en vrai. Hein. Ok, moins 26 shield, c'est super. Ça met quelques petits dégâts, bien joué Bevis. C'est quoi le replay? Il a réussi à choper un kill comme as? Non. Ça met beaucoup de dégâts là.
Yeah, one thing that I didn't really mention it. Did you see the 18 splashes on him? These guys are ready for that end game.
Ouais, c'est vrai.
That's going to allow you, if you are down on Surge, to kind of handle it. Fabs and Stacky, FNCS champions from NA West, hurting on Storm Surge right now, trying to get themselves back up. But it does look like the fight, maybe the dust have settled, and this is the aftermath that you see. Yeah, Fabs does have one elimination. 36.
Ok, super, il a réussi à réa son mate.
Right now, they have a little bit of comfortability. That threat is still looming in the back of their minds.
That's right, and they rolled up, they took down a team there, and now they get to go ahead and reap the rewards. They needed those tags, but that's not going to be
wow.
There's a little bit more in front of them.
La Refsguard, il s'est fait une grande tour. Hein.
Our full Middle Eastern duo, Spy and Focus, are sitting here, and it's not looking too hot. 220.
Thomas HD qui est par là.
I had so much time to catch up with Spy. He is an incredible, and I mean incredible player.
Noirelli, Bat Sniper, Epic Whale. Oh là là, ça pourrait être un fight intéressant là. Faut faire très gaffe. Oh, ça a mis des grosses balles Epic Whale. Epic Whale il a renvoyé un bon dégât là. Voilà, ça veut fight là. Là, Noirelli il veut le kill. Il veut tuer Epic Whale. Ouh là là, Epic Whale s'est pris de gros dégâts. Je conseille de back, hein, franchement. Ok, l'attaque, il attaque. Il s'est pris quand même beaucoup de dégâts là, Epic Whale, franchement. Ok. Faut regarder parce que ça le spam un peu de partout. Ça tire un peu de tout partout. Ok, Epic Whale, il a mis une grosse balle. Oh, oh putain, son mate est KO. Epic Whale peut-être. Moins 20. Il est très low Epic Whale. Epic Whale va-t-il s'en sortir? Peut-être. Epic Whale. Epic Whale est mort. Ah non. Attends. Bouga est mort? Non. Bouga il est vraiment mort? Epic Whale est mort? Attends, Epic Whale et Bouga est mort? Alors là ça peut être une game insane là. Ouais, Bouga il est mort, ouais. N est mort, putain. Thomas HD qui a fait un petit kill. Ok, là Chapix c'est un peu la merde là. Mais aussi pour Janice et tout. Ils ont la Storm Surge. Ils vont aller chercher le kill. Peut-être. Oh, il craque. Il a un HP Tyson peut-être. Tyson est mort. Oh aïe aïe. Nickel. Franchement, Vadil, Janice, ils commencent super bien. Oh, mais attends, mais ça cherche le fight ici. Tout le monde fight, c'est incroyable. Non, 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 ça fight pas en fait. Je suis fausse alerte, j'ai complètement mal vu. J'espère que King est toujours en vie. ZND qui a fait un petit kill. Clix aussi, il a fait un petit kill. ZND qui fait encore un kill. Peterbot qui est tombé. Ok, moins 29. Oh, moins 29 blancs. Ah, là, ça fait très très mal. Faut faire gaffe au laser. Hein. Ouais, il faut faire gaffe. Faut faire très gaffe. Y a pas beaucoup de... Après, il a pas beaucoup de balles. Hein. Je te conseille d'économiser les balles d'air. Y a pas beaucoup de gens qui jouent les snipers. Hein. Bad Sniper qui est toujours en vie. Je sais pas s'il est solo Bad. Ok, Balder, il commence un peu à manquer ici. Là aussi, vu que c'est une petite AR à rafale, il a quand même réussi à l'améliorer en violet ou il l'a trouvé en violet direct. Ok. Oh, il est très low. Jus est très low. Oh, Jus qui est encore plus low. Oh, peut-être. Spam. Moins 33 morts. Ok, nickel. Jus qui a été tué. Ok, lui il est mort. Ok, lui il est down. Et il faut pas stand pour aller chercher le stuff. Ok, oh là là. Là nous sommes sur du box fight là, du côté de... Il se prend de la storm en plus. Ça essaie de celui comme ils peuvent. Camille qui a tué Raison. Hey, à quoi? Belle Camille qui a fait un 1v2. Attends, ils tentent la pré-edit ou je rêve? Ils vont tenter la pré-edit, je pense. En vrai, ils sont dans le blanc. Hein. Energy Clix qui est bien aussi. Andilex qui a réussi à s'en sortir. Ils ont toujours la Storm Surge. C'est quand même incroyable. Ouf, oh là là, ouf. Ouh, ils ont pris tarif. Ok, Andilex contre Clix. Oh là là, la grosse balle de Clix. Oh! Bailly rapide, ça dégage. Ah là, oh, Janice est mort. Janice est mort. Vadil essaye un peu de... Ah là c'est vraiment la merde pour Janice. Hein. Pour Vadil. Vadil là qui est tout seul. Contre d'énormément joueurs pro. Peut-il le faire? Vadil. Tout seul. Top 46. 1 contre 46. Peut-il le faire? Ok, ça fight. Ouais, il fight parce qu'ils ont la storm. Ça se splash. Ils ont encore la storm. Vadil qui a réussi à faire un kill. Ouais, ils veulent jouer Vadil. Ok, ils ont 2 pads. Ils sont très bien. Vadil qui a réussi à choper un kill. Ok, la grosse spot qui est passée. Comment il va faire? Je pense qu'il va faire la rota en chrome. Hein. Ok, le replay de Vadil. Oh là là! Bien joué. Ok, Camille, Seti. Qui sont très bien. Très bien en termes de stuff, très bien en termes de balles, très bien en termes de build. Je pense qu'ils ont carrément les moyens de gagner la game, hein, franchement. Ok, est-ce que King est toujours là? Est-ce que King est toujours là? Attends, il a mis un sac à dos?
And now, as the timer hits 0 and the zone reveals itself, we're going to start entering into the first moving zone territory.
Quizzy, Veno.
25 seconds are going to be some of the toughest they have ever had to deal with. Remember,
Qui sont très bien dans la game. Oh là, là la zone est très loin. Faut faire très attention. Vadil qui essaye de jouer sa game solo. Vadil qui est très bien par rapport à la zone, vraiment. Il est très bien placé. Ok, il y a beaucoup de gens qui pad. Quizzy. Ils ont le high. Oh là là, attention là, c'est du free kill là. Ok, ça a l'air beaucoup de gens en l'air. Pourquoi ils ont placé un pad? Ok, la merde stage c'est vraiment la merde. Malibuka qui est mort. Oh putain. Ça bégaye du niveau de Merstach. King il est plus là, il est mort. Hein. Ok, ça pad. Ça joue le high. Oh, la balle, piste contrôle. Oh non, presque. Ok, ça prend le high, ça pue énormément de build, ça va de maths. Ok, les splash. Oi aïe aïe. Bad qui est toujours là. Ok, là il faut jouer Léo. Il faut jouer. En plus on a la Storm. Ah, ça a toujours la Storm là dans le bush. Il a plus de balles d'air, il a que des balles de pompe. C'est la merde, c'est la très grosse merde. Oh, le hit shot. Il a beaucoup de maths. Ok, ça a spray. Waouh, la balle qu'il a mis. Il s'y attendait pas du tout. Clix est toujours dans la game. Duke est mort. Clix en solo. Très bon stuff, beaucoup de balles. En build, on va dire que ça passe. Il a beaucoup de poissons, ça c'est super. Il pourra tempo en zone. ZND qui est tombé. Chico qui a encore fait un kill. Noirelli aussi qui a fait un kill. Bad qui a fait un kill. Voilà, Jo ça va être chaud pour lui. Hein. Jo ça va être très chaud, il faut qu'il se heal là. Thomas HD qui est tombé. Camille, Seti qui sont très bien dans la game. Clix qui est tombé. Oh ça rush. Wesh mais pourquoi il la rush? Ok ça touche. Ils ont plus énormément d'heal hein. Franchement ils ont plus énormément d'heal. Ok. Chico qui tombe. Il reste plus que Trulex. Ok, oh là là, le kill. Mais attends, mais il est exceptionnel ce joueur. Ok, ça spam, y'a personne ici. Bad Sniper qui est toujours là. Non, Bad Sniper qui est tombé. Acorn. Veno qui est très bien en termes de heal. Il a plus trop de Vénibrume. Trulex qui est toujours là. Il y a beaucoup de teams où ils sont tout seuls. Ok, Veno qui essaie de se déplacer un peu. Il a plus énormément de mode Veno. Franchement c'est... C'est un peu la merde pour Veno. Ça essaie de spray en zone un tout petit peu. Ça essaie d'un peu tout chromer. Franchement ces Tikami là ils sont très très bien. Alba là. Oh Veno, Veno. Veno, 2 HP. Veno. Veno qui est mort. Merem qui a récupéré le kill. C'est du 2v2. Non, 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 il y a encore des teams. 2v2, v2, v1. C'est qui est tombé. Oh là là, grosse balle. Oh, le 2v2. Le 2v2. Putain. Il a énormément de maths, il peut jouer le high. Mais non, c'est qui toujours là? Ok, là ça se prend en zone. Là pour les PSG c'est un peu mal. Ils ont... Il a 18 mini-bots. C'est Tikami qui c'est toujours de spray. Ok, ça spam, ça spam. Ça a passé. Ok, il est mort. Et Kami qui gagne, et c'est qui? Aïe 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 aïe. Je disais que eux ils peuvent pas gagner, mais en fait si. Aïe 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 aïe. Là franchement ils ont très très bien joué. Ils ont joué le high depuis le tout début. Ils ont franchement ils ont géré à mort. Ils ont franchement ils ont bien joué, bien joué. Aïe aïe.
Dzień dobry, first and foremost. Obviously, game one winners. How was that being out there and winning in front of this amazing crowd?
It's amazing. I love the atmosphere here. It's really nice having a crowd again.
Excellent. And also, obviously, high ground reigns supreme. Once you had the high ground there, able to maintain, do you think that was the difference maker? You felt comfortable being above the rest of the teams?
Like, we knew that high team doesn't have much, so we just took it.
You took it. Going into the next game, much of the same? Do you have to constantly change strategy, or did it feel good playing against the rest of the world?
It feels good. It feels pretty easy. I'm not like denying the competition, but it feels really nice playing here. And yeah, we're just going confident into game two. Still have to be consistent to the end of the tournament, and that's it.
Excellent stuff. Once more time, guys, give it up. Your game one winners, Kami and City.
Yeah! Bon, King, je pense qu'il a fait un petit retour lobby, c'est pas grave. C'est pas grave. C'est premier jour, première game. On a le droit à un retour lobby.
This is gonna be a tough one for everybody else. EU, let's represent, baby. Kami and Seti, though, come out huge in game number one. What's crazy, too, for a moment there, we watched Queasy and Vino go for height in sixth moving, right? But it's not them who end in height. It's Kami and Seti.
It's crazy, big development there. I can't believe Kami and Seti are the ones that actually end up on the high ground. I love the fact that you mentioned that there were a little bit of flip-flopping going on the high ground. Somehow Kami and Seti, probably the least likely duo in my opinion to find themselves up there do.
Ah franchement, ils ont très bien joué pour le high. Il a le kill sur Clix, c'était épique. Akorn qui a essayé un peu de spray pour avoir le top 2. Akorn qui a beaucoup joué en solo, vraiment.
And they make easy work of them.
It was right around the start of Zone 8 that we saw Cammy just sweep Queasy completely off guard there on the flank. Didn't seem as though Queasy was fully aware of the fact because there were so many teams trying to challenge that high ground at once, but it was Cammy and Seti who actually successfully walked away with it, and they just had so many builds. That vertical play throughout the entirety of 8th and 9th zone, there was just...
Mais j'ai l'impression qu'ils ont fait un top 1, frérot, ils ont eu ce... Moi j'aurais gueulé sa mère, wesh.
Who's gonna be nervous, who's gonna be confident? I have never been able to tell if somebody is confident. After winning game number 1 of an Invitational, it seemed like there was like no expression coming out of Cammy and Seti. There was like, yeah, that's expected.
That's what they're used to, right? That's how they won the most recent DreamHack. This is almost like, it's like their life is on repeat.
C'est eux qui ont gagné la DreamHack?
FNCS Invitational, right? I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts.
C'est à quoi qui a gagné la DreamHack, non?
Self-regional eliminations, right? EU eliminating EU, NA eliminating
On rappelle plus. Attends, j'ai pas un pull là. Ok, attends, le classement. Click 7ème, Queasy 6ème, Bad Sniper 4ème, avec Noirelli. Ok, là franchement, ils ont un classement, ils ont un bon classement, franchement, 32 points. Franchement, ils ont 4 points d'écart avec le deuxième. 8 kills, Bad Sniper. Oh ouais, c'était agressif.
Position. Noah Riley, Bad Sniper, they're walking away with 8 elims. That is a good chunk of points that they were able to compensate for despite not being able to close things out. And I think ultimately we saw in the first 3 zones a little bit more EU heavy as far as the elim fee was concerned. But by the time we hit that mid game, it seemed as though all of NA and some of the international regions just really started to hit their stride because everything just started lighting up immediately.
A lot of these players, right? They're using this initial game as a kind of a feeler, right? Let's just kind of see how this all works and everyone the land looks like, and then we'll look to go ahead and fight back. But real quick, we have a mini miner standing by. What you got for us?
Thanks so much, Zeke. Now, we want to be taking a deep dive into one of our duos that have been deep diving into the dead side of Zone. As we reveal this massive screen right behind me, we're going to be talking, of course, about Commandment and Avery, our reigning NA East FNCS champions. We can see them on the screen right there, the little white arrows, and they've made a really, really interesting rotation.
C'est leur parcours.
The path that they are going to take, using all the way on that dead side of Zone. Now, you might be wondering, what is the benefits of dead side? Now, you can see on the map, loads of those little arrows are on this side of Zone, right? And this is the area that most teams are going to be at, because most of the POIs are going to be rotating into there. We can see Commandment and Avery using the sort of the mid-map rotation, right? You can see the in-game rotation devices, you can see the launch pads being used, you can see the balloons, and of course, you can see the streams as well, and you can see them getting to this less congested side of Zone. Nobody's there, what's going on? They have a free rotation, but of course, this comes with some problems, right? We saw them struggling with surge in that previous game. It didn't quite work out the way that they were expecting. They weren't able to find as many players as they could, so the benefits for them are, of course, they're on the less congested side of Zone. They don't see anyone, but that also has implications. You don't get the damage done, and you can see that in the last game. They were struggling with tags. Of course, we saw King and Ed doing the exact same thing, but they were able to find as many eliminations and as many tags as they possibly could, which kept them afloat. Unfortunately for Commandment and Avery, though, it didn't quite work out. I've got so many questions to ask, and who better to ask them themselves? Kelly, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mini Miner. Joining me right now, I have Commandment and Avery. And Avery, I gotta ask you, man, how do you feel about it, game number 1?
Surge was pretty rough. We had to run through Holler's shield pretty early, so we died on half zone. But we still managed to get 8 points for first game, just testing the grounds.
Well, good luck in that next game, guys. I'm sure you're going to be doing a lot better. I'm going to be joining over here Acorn and Edgy, guys. That second place finish, what was going through your mind once you had that solo run?
I mean, honestly, it was all Acorn. Like, I didn't even do anything, to be honest. He's just the best player in the world.
Yeah, man, what was going through your mind?
I know I had chromes, and I was like, I'm 100% going to get top 2 here. No, I was confident, and it went my way.
I love it. Congratulations, guys. You have a great start to the competition. Let's head on back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Kelly, and of course, Mini Miner, and shout outs to the players. That was just game number 1. Now, this looks a little deceiving, right? For a moment, we celebrate Cammy and Seti. We think, okay, they got the victory royale, big deal. However, Acorn there, it's okay. They didn't get the victory royale, but that's not what they needed, right? They just needed to place high.
Yeah, of course. You know, Acorn, you can hear it out of Edgy right there. Best player in the world. Love that confidence coming out of the teammate. But again, you know, one of those solo clutches that we kind of saw was from Cool and Yumi. I think it was Cool specifically getting into that endgame, securing that third place position. And you can tell at one point in time, he was like in that 1v2 situation in that box fight, and he comes out on top and just transitions that all the way towards that third place position.
You don't become FNCS champions without
C'est que là, le...
a collective measure when it comes to your mental discipline inside these block fights, and not to mention the fact that they also had 7 elims to boot to close this one out. So not only are they placing high, but they're also.
Ouais, c'est avec lui. Oh, il était incroyable. Hein.
It is everything when you're able to try and establish these early leads, because this is a very competitive lobby, and I think if anything, game 1 is only amped me up even more to see what these players are going to do.
La game 1 était bien. Vraiment.
So much on these stages. You know, we saw last season on the NA East region, Commandment is the one that won it with his solo clutch. So every single solo performance matters tenfold.
That's right. I want to take a look at our standings once again. And again, don't freak out. This is just game number 1. This is our feeler game, right? From here, we make adjustments and we make the changes we need to succeed. Cammy and Seti, they did win game number 1. But with only 6 eliminations, they're currently sitting at the 44 points. As we kind of start to go top to bottom, you know, we did watch Queasy and Vino. They did try and take height. But I'm curious as to like what you feel kind of happened. Why? How did that all unfold? The height take looked good, but something went wrong. So,
we knew Queasy and Vino were going for the high. They had it going into that first moving zone, and then all of a sudden we were checking it out. You know, Runa and Pepper are all of a sudden on the higher ground, and Queasy and Vino are like, all right, fine, we'll give it up. And then like 5 seconds later, I look back up, and Queasy and Vino are back on height. So, you know, they had the strategy there. Ultimately, Cammy and Seti just found the best of them, though.
That's right. Really quickly, let's go over to our friends Kelly and Adam, who are standing by on the deck.
C'est qui est posé.
Thank you very much, Zeke. Guys, are we having a good time? All right, we're looking good. Game 1 is done, and game 2 is imminent.
However, we need your help, everyone, because our battle bus is out of gas and we power it with hype. So in the count of 3, I'm going to need you to get as loud as you can possibly get.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Let us hear! Come on!
Get louder! We keep going!
Keep going! Keep going!
It's almost there!
As loud as you can! Come on! Keep going! Fantastic! You look beautiful out there! It's time for game number 2.
Now that's how you kick off a battle bus, Jacob. Whoa, the crowd is really coming together for that one.
Yep, and Acorn clutching it up by himself as a solo, Cool, and Yumi from NA West. But you got to give it up to EU, Cammy, and Seti taking that top spot, and they're really putting the lobby on notice. Hey, we came to play, we came to take over.
So much representation from all of the players showing up in that last game there. NA West, NA East, Asia, EU, of course. You saw what they were able to do there. And again, that is what makes this all worth it. That is why we tune in for these moments.
Yeah, but that was just game number 1. Sure. I'm pretty sure with game number 2 right around the corner, the nerves are beginning to settle. The players have figured out how the lobby is going to be. And one of the things I've noticed after that first game, everybody is stingy with Storm Surge damage.
That's right. But listen, the show must go on. Let's just go ahead and keep things rolling. Thank you guys so much. We're trying to get our
La game numéro 2 est imminente. Êtes-vous prêts pour la game numéro 2? Aïe aïe. Je pense qu'il y aura 6 games aujourd'hui.
And now they have to double adapt, not just adapt to their own meta and the way they're used to playing Storm Surge, but how other duos ahead of them, next to them, behind them, maybe doing the same thing.
Every single time in Fortnite that we have like a set lobby over the course of X amount of games, game 1 is always the most stacked. And we saw it right there. It was like the flip of a coin. All of a sudden the lobby, the amount of players left alive just crashed instantly because so many of them needed to fight for it. But one thing that I did see in that early game right there, a lot of balloons are being used. A lot of the players poisoning themselves all the way up there in the sky, then using those hammer assault rifles primarily to get tags in the early game. And then anybody that wasn't really doing that, unfortunately just had to force a fight later on in the game. Like, for example, we saw Epic Whale and Reek go down because of one of those fights.
Look, it might have been Cammy and Seti that actually closed out the lobby, but it was Muzz and Looter who got the action going for us because we did see a decent amount of hesitation. It's kind of expected, I think. Game number 1 here at the FNCS Invitational. Nobody wants to be the first one out, but unfortunately for Smite and Larson, that was the case because Looter and Muzz actually winning out the immediate trade. And this is one of the POIs that we touched on at the start because we knew that Grim Gables is going to be popping. We knew that Muzz and Looter have the experience to tango with the other regions.
You wanna know something? This is what I love because, you know, we're talking about how some of these all-spawn situations are gonna go down. And, you know, I was talking with some of the other analysts, and Taco included, and Muzz and Looter was like, you know, I think this might actually, you know, play into their favor being contested all spawn because, you know, Looter himself said NA East has been way harder than OC. He thinks there's a lot more talent over here. And then Storm Surge was one of the things that he was most worried about. So the fact that they ended up being contested, and that game is a great example. They get that early damage done, those early eliminations, and they're set for the rest of the game. They don't even have to worry about their biggest worry coming into the Invitational.
Another duo that had a tough time getting going, Mr. Savage. They took a fight that maybe didn't quite go the way it was anticipating. Let's take a look at some of the replays and kind of talk about what we're seeing.
That one was definitely a bit of a heartbreaking moment because when a duo that hasn't even naturally been practicing this off-spawn situation up until recently challenges you and beats you. iDrop said it himself in the pre-game interview. I've been dropping here uncontested for the past year. It's not going to change the outcome, and yet we're witnessing the downfall of iDrop and Mr. Savage.
Yeah, and honestly, shout out to On1 right there because
Ouais, ils se sont fait dézingue, hein.
right? Sometimes when you go to clear buildings, you're kind of just running down the staircase or running through corridors, and you're just like, I'll be fine. I don't hear him. I haven't seen him here. But no, he actually pre-builds off the wall, the floor. He catches Savage trying to go for a sneaky little shot, and Savage at that point is just kind of caught in this box, and On1 cleans it up after placing that wall to make sure Savage can't get any control over any of those builds. So really well played from On1 for sure.
And something that's also worth considering, I think, for Mr. Savage and iDrop now is you have to remember when you have so much information out there on how you like to drop, loot, and land this spot, like what we witnessed from this duo, I think that that is pertinent information because I would be very surprised if On1 and Vodka haven't been utilizing a lot of VOD review to their favor leading into this.
Yeah, I mean, iDrop himself said he's been laying here for 12 months, so there is a lot out there on it.
Yeah.
Now the question is, do we get the repeat of this again? Will we watch this happen again? Do we think they're going to change something up? Do they feel now like they have no choice? They have to try to take this fight.
You know, I think that, you know, the players, especially up there, they are pretty set on going for the fight. So I think we're just going to see a fight happen again. But, you know, game 1 jitters are kind of out of the way. If you get eliminated early in a game, you kind of can just sit there, right? You can mentally reset. You know, obviously some of it's going to start to
même pas faire ça avec mon casque.
your mental a little bit.
Oui,
But, you know,
tombe.
you can full reset, maybe come up with a new strategy with your duo, kind of talk to him in that meantime. You pretty much had that whole game to talk strategy and kind of, you know, mention what went wrong, you think.
Exactly. It's not the end of the world by any means because we are literally only 1 game through. We still have 5 left to go. There is ample opportunity here, not just for the players to have a chance to, I think, boost their placement points on the leaderboard, but also it's just the simple fact that they can make the tiny adjustments that they need to. As far as iDrop and Mr. Savage are concerned, now I think they're a lot more wary of the fact that On1 and Baka, they're definitely willing to take a super early engagement. They don't care about the fact that it's the first 3 zones. Both of these duos, I think, are going to continue trying to look to establish their surge management early on.
And I love the terminology used right there, more aware, right? Because, you know, again, On1 just recently decided to land here like 2 days ago. So it's like, whoa, for Mr. Savage and iDrop. We had no idea. There's no information because this duo hasn't really landed here before. But now, game 1, the information is starting to reveal itself. On1 is obviously, you know, leaking some of those things just naturally as he plays through the games. And we know that Savage and iDrop are very well experienced. So they should be able to turn that into something positive.
Yeah, it's not kind of like the one beats all, right? There is going to be this back and forth that continues to develop. And it's kind of what we talked about like at the beginning of the show is that adaptability factor. How many duos could just say, okay, this went wrong, let's go ahead and change these things so that doesn't happen again, right? Fortnite is primarily a game of what you would call RNG, right? You landed a POI, what's there? Where are the chests? Where's the guns? Where's the builds? And for these duos, they're trying to limit as much of that as possible, right? They want to find that spot. Hey, I know there's a gun here every time. I know if I hit this building as I open this door, pick up this thing, I'll have 10 builds. That's a wall I can use to defend myself if I'm jumped, right? So I'm excited to see how in game 2, a lot of these duos look to say, what do we got to do differently?
Well, for Beppo and Runa, I was actually very happy to see that they were the ones that initially started off at that Lustrous Lagoon. And again, that was an uncontested draw spot for them. You're talking about loot, you're talking about resources, Zeke, and there is ample of it at Lustrous Lagoon. A lot of these players have even been talking about the fact that it's kind of crazy that they have
Allez, Savage.
this entire time leading up to the event without anyone wanting to establish an immediate contest at that POI. So I like the fact that they were able to hang in that top 10 leaderboard as well, really representing their region, I think, excellently there, because the fact is there was a lot of traffic coming their way due to the way that the zones ended up pulling towards that north side. So the fact that they were able to not only stay in that surge management position despite being uncontested, but they also just made do with what they were given there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really cool to see that they actually also took the high ground from none other than Queasy and Vito in that end game. Ultimately, yeah, they did end up losing it, but I want to see more of that, right? Just because you lost at just this one game, you may have a very good strategy that takes out, something that Queasy and Vino aren't used to, and that's kind of that multi-regional invitational that is just.
Bon allez, moi je veux voir la game là.
And all the strategies start to come out and catch players by surprise.
You'll love to see it. This is just kind of our insights here from the desk, but we also have Mini Miner standing by to get his thoughts on that game.
Absolutely, Zeke. It's not just me, it's Takata alongside me as well. Now, we've been watching all of this action unfold behind the scenes. We've been able to see some extra POVs, Takata. It's been intense, right? We've seen some crazy plays.
Look, players from all around the world, it's what I love to see these players shine, right? Zagu and Miram, they were fragging out, Mini. They got, what, almost 8 eliminations in that match? Even players from the West Coast, Cool and Yumi, they were also popping off in that late game. And what's going on with Seti and Cammy? Up in the clouds, right? We never seen them up there, right? Playing up top.
Imaginez les deux top 1 d'affilée, comme Aqua et je sais plus qui.
And this is what the invitation is all about, right? We have so many different players from so many different regions bring different strategies, but it can all change. As we talked about earlier, things can change so quickly. Cammy and Seti on the high ground. What's going on? This is crazy. But of course, Cool and Yumi as well. You mentioned it, right? I had a few questions to ask about their surge. I actually spoke to them in person in the player area, and they said, we have all the answers, Minimana. Don't worry. Don't be concerned. And I was like, carry on.
Oops, excusez-moi.
Do it, mate, if that's what they're going to do. And they're pulling out all the stops today. I mean, they proved it, right? The way they played that late game, they were ready to dominate. But I mean, Seti, Cammy up top, I think that was more of like a situational thing, right? We had Queasy Vino earlier up top on the high ground, but then Seti and Cammy saw the opportunity and they striked, right? I don't think it's going to be an every game type scenario for this deal. We know they like the consistency, so I wouldn't, be surprised if they switch it up a bit, but I'm excited to see what they continue to do.
I am very excited as well. I'm sure as are the devs. Let's throw it back to them to see what they think.
You got a good laugh out of our boy Vivid here. I'm down. I'm not opposed. Yeah, you chuckled. That was pretty good. Another duo I did want to take a moment to highlight on screen right now, Zagu and Miram coming out of Japan. These guys were just looking so good. 7 eliminations there in that
Ça, ils ont fait beaucoup de kills.
41 total point. Now this is just out of
2226 dégâts.
And I mean, consider we kind of talked about it. They're contesting Commandment and Avery over at Rave Cave. And they were allowed to leave Rave Cave.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's pretty much what we can expect. But
Il a même fait un long moment avec une game solo et tout. Il a géré. Hein.
I raised them. That stat sheet right there. They did 2,200 plus damage this game. That is incredible. You can see it right here. A lot of it coming from this end game, actually picking up a plethora of eliminations. Their box fighting skills seem to be catching a lot of these players off guard in the game. Woo, look at that.
Absolutely crispy and cooking inside of these boxes. It's looking like a full-on barbecue right now with Zagu and Mareem. The way that they were just lighting it up inside of that low ground congestion. Not only that, but I just love seeing how poised they are after that finish. They have not lost sight by any means. They know exactly what's on the line here as far as regional representation is concerned, and you absolutely love to just see that energy kind of be reflected in their gameplay.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you mentioned energy. I've been seeing them walk around the player lounge, everything like that. The walkouts, they always seem so happy, right? They're so happy to be here, and they seem confident as well. There's never really like a, oh, we're worried to be here. No, they're just fully embracing it, and we can see it right there in game number 1. They came on top pretty much.
When you have performances like that, I can imagine why they're so confident. Because again, I think a lot of duos may not have necessarily been anticipating some of this aggression that we are witnessing right now in Game 1 from the other international regions. But at the very least, I do expect a little bit of a bite back from NA East, West, and EU.
Ouais.
I think for me, I'm looking forward to
Ils ont tous un Apex Pro TKL, hein, je vais m'en acheter un. D'accord, le clavier vaut 220 balles, mais je vais me l'acheter.
They didn't even care about high ground. They're like, no, you guys battled out. We want more eliminations. We'll stay right here. Do you guys think that maybe more duels will
King, mais je l'aime. Pardon, excusez-moi, je suis peut-être accro à un mec. Je veux sortir avec carrément. Mais King, c'est mon bébé d'amour, vraiment.
Alex and Bailey, we talked about them from OCE. They love to play the high ground, and they just all three of them went down a little bit early, so it could change big time. You know, we also saw Kanata went down a little bit early. Macwood loves to play the high ground coming out of NA East. Pretty much the only thing that he shies for, but being left as a solo, he couldn't really do that this game.
But just look at some of these names that are located on the second page already for the leaderboard. You got Thomas HD at Trippard, Pink and Anas. Again, I think Vico and Brian have been really exciting to kind of follow along with, especially since they're relatively newly formed here for the FNCS Invitational. I don't think that is an easy feat by any means to have to quickly adapt to your partner.
100%. And listen, I can't believe it actually, because Clicks and Duke were actually popping off towards that end game, right? And you know, the crowd was going crazy. We on the desk were like, wow, they're really showing up right now. And you know, on that leaderboard, it's really showing as well, finding those eliminations on big name teams as well. They're coming into the Invitational with the experience, and it's showing.
How many of these duos are thinking themselves, game 2, I'm ready. I have that strategy locked in. I think I know what I need to do to get going, because I want to make the crowd here.
Ah, il met une emote pour écouter une chanson.
Convention Center just lose their mind when we're taking shots, because man, there was some eliminations happening, and I was just on my feet screaming with the crowd.
You know, straight up, ultimately, it's going to be based on an individual level. I think, you know, how good are you, and how good is your mental at taking something that could be negative and turning it into something positive? Because, you know, not everything went right for any duo of that game, so they have to think about those things and like, okay, what can we do? What have we scrimmed before that has kind of helped us throughout these situations? Just make those changes come into game number 2. But there's also duos, plenty of them, especially the top 10 on the leaderboard, who, you know, found things that worked for them. So keep doing those things, but again, not everything went perfect, so keep that in mind.
But nerves aside, as the games go on, it's going to start feeling more and more natural, I think, for a lot of these players. You're going
100%.
to start being able to focus in a lot more on the actual gameplay itself, and I think that's where the audience just becomes a little bit of background noise until it comes down to those final moments. But something that I'm really curious to see is whether or not these players are actually...
Moi, si un jour, imaginez, je suis dans une équipe. La vie de ma mère, je choisis une équipe et je change pas. Après, c'est quoi la meilleure équipe? Honnêtement, FaZe hein, pour moi. C'est mon Graal est chez FaZe, il a pas changé. King est chez FaZe, il a pas changé.
So we can start getting into our perspective here. I mean, Jacob, let's talk about what we know just coming out of game 1.
I mean, what we know, NA West, Cool and Yumi showing up big. Not only getting that third place finish, but you saw that 2v1 off the back of Cool. Another thing, Acorn, NA in general is just kind of showing up. Obviously, EU won the game, but I think we need to start giving NA more credit.
Yeah, definitely have to give them that credit. They show up and then wait for them to
Cool and Yumi.
Engagements. Yep. I mean, listen, we got to sit in the player lounge, quite literally stand over the shoulders of On1 and Baka while they were practicing. They took on the likes. You know who they're training against?
Who are they training?
Reeds and Epic Whale. That's their training partners. And I don't know about you, but if you were following Twitter, I posted a little clip of Reed taking on Murstache and Malabuka. So it kind of all ties together if Murstache and Malabuka are known as some of the greats. And then On1 and Baka could hold their toe-to-toe with someone like Reed. I mean, it all just starts to make sense.
You know what I'm loving out of all that, though? You talked about the two partners, right? On1 and Baka, and who they're sparring against, Reed and Epic Whale. That's NA West. That's NA West showing each other some love. I talked about a lot of these guys being friends, but when they're on the battlefield, they're enemies. That is just inner region training, and that's something I love to see.
That's right, and of course, the upsets, right? We saw a couple edge battles there. Booga and Miro taken out so early. This is one of the things we didn't really get to talk
King.
about. You would think
Mais allez, montrez-le.
Who have drilled and trained their draw spot so perfectly. They almost have it conditioned. This should be another walk in the park situation for them. What do you think went wrong as they were rotating out? Because it seems like they face planted into Macwood and Kanata. That was the big resistance, and they were just taken out.
You know, without seeing too much of their POV.
Ouais, c'est un gosse, il est en train de défoncer son daron ici.
Guesses here, and just judging by 95 players being alive when Storm Surge hit, I think they were one of the few teams that were having problems dealing with that. And that's one of the things that I said in an interview before this event, that Storm Surge is going to be hard for these people to deal with, because the players that are above Storm Surge, they can hide in a box, they can focus on those rotations, but the ones that are below, they have to fight outside of Storm. They have to fight the first person they see in that first moment, because you can't continually falling down on that damage.
That's right. Well, listen, that's our perspectives here. We have so much more in store. Thank you guys so much.
Attention à la deuxième game.
We actually have a really cool moment here. The casters kind of talked about Bugha Mira going down earlier. We had a listen-in moment. Let's take a look.
We need to find extra heals. You should pop cabbage maybe for whites. I need to heal. Unless you throw me a mini now.
Yeah, come. Out there, like right there.
Search, yeah. I want that big ammo crate, but I know they're just gonna get above us.
I mean, I think you can go for it. There's a chest there as well. It's definitely worth it with our loot. It's just glid off the thing.
Minis, yeah.
If we get surge here, we can get enough.
I mean, make sure this isn't baited, bro. It's not. Here, we can get stacked, bro. I'm chilling. If we get surge, we sit in zone, bro. We should look.
Yeah, like where though? We'd have to follow right side.
Yeah,
like,
we have to go right side. I'm just gonna go up. Nah, we should bump.
Alright.
You can already tell. Even Bugha and Mira are like, hey, we need Storm Surge. We need to make sure this is right. It is absolutely affecting many of these players. We will come back and talk about more of this in just a moment. First, I do want to throw it on over to the player area for a little special interview.
We have a very special interview, Zeke. I'm here with one of our alternate players, Frey. Now, Frey, you've been watching in the what's the energy like? How does it feel?
The crowd is amazing. I'm so happy that we have Leanza back. The crowd couldn't be crazier. It's so awesome to be here.
Yeah, we can hear them just there in the background as well. They're getting.
Bon, en attendant qu'après ça sera pour la prochaine game. Je jouerai un peu à Fortnite en mode créatif. Hein. Même là, vas-y, on va commencer. Et bah attends, on peut pas le...
You know, give your insight, maybe to talk to them as well. But just we'll stop it right there. We'll throw it back to the desk for some more.
Thank you guys so much. Raleigh Convention Center, you guys ready? Because game
ready
is about to make its way here, so let's make some noise. It's game time. This is the FNCS Invitational 2022 coming at you.
C'est par là, c'est par là. Ouais, c'est de moins bonne qualité, c'est nul. Hop. Allez, Savage. Les 3 BL.
I think there might be some room for concern, but Bugha and Mira, I think, are an exclusive case, because Miro specifically, this guy is a 5 times FNCS champion, and yet out of all the FNCS finals that he has competed in, he has only ever collected 3 victory royales. Wow. So it is a primary example of the fact that high ground can win games, but low ground could possibly win championships. And that moment in game number 1, while it wasn't able to go in their favor because they were struggling with surge management along with some of the other duos, again, they're able to make it happen.
All right, we've broken it all down. We had game 1 wrapped up, it's gone. Game 2 is here. It's now the battle bus is ready. The players are on board. Let's just get this started.
Oh, game 2.
Thank you so much, Zeke. We get to start gearing up for this battle bus to take off now.
Yeah, this is finally setting in for a lot of these players on the stage. Game number 2 is starting right now.
Alors, le bus.
All those nerves from the end of game number 1 have settled because now when push comes to shove, some of these players that might be at the bottom of the leaderboard, Mr. Savage, I drop that went down early, they might have to start dealing
King
with
là-bas,
that
je
surge early.
And that's right. We saw what happened in game 1. The real
Ok, le bus, ça va.
coming into game 2. This battle bus is telling me that the Chrome Jam Junction is under fire very quickly. It's so close to the drop spawn. You can see already things kick off. This time, I drop says, you know what? Let's put that weight in my experience on my.
Oh, Mr. Savage qui a fait un kill. Allez, Mr. Savage, c'est ça qu'on veut.
Happy birthday, Mr. Savage. First
Ah, c'est son anniversaire en plus.
in game number 2, and that puts on one on notice. You gotta have to watch out because we're here to fight. That first one might have been a little lucky, but another one, this one, I feel like has to have a little bit more damage because all 3 of these players, Monster, they were dealing with Storm Surge and they were just on the cusp. Some were even below.
This is not the only contested draw spot. Don't forget, Tilted Towers has so much going down there as well. So between Cloudy Condos and Tilted Towers, these are the 2 most contested draw spots.
Tyson avec son petit pompe.
Is Acorn and Edgy in the feed find Noah Ryler early.
Netflix and chill.
There are big fights unfolding already, just giving us a little sample of how these drops are playing out.
Yeah, you can kind of see everybody just on their drop spot. The ones that don't necessarily have the POI, it's about looting up, getting as much resources as possible, trying to get as many metal and brick as you can in terms. That way, when you make it towards the end game, that way you don't have to worry about it. But for these teams that are also on the outskirts, talk about looting,
Camiseti.
you have to start thinking about Storm Surge. Your
Il spawn eux là.
so important
Il spawn là.
how many teams went down to the Surge itself.
Here is Poland's finest Game 1 winners from Becoming Legends, Cetis and Cammy. This team here has placed top 10 in every finals they have ever competed with together. But wait a second, hold that thought. And Aston Pink here on the other side of the Joneses. This is a fight that's being extended out. The last time we were here, Clicks found an elimination with Duke. They actually held it off. Remember when we talked to Reet and Epic Whale, they said, hey, you know what? I believe in the fighting power of NA on this one. They have full confidence that they can do it.
Yeah.
Pink and Anas have to jump back.
Yeah, and you gotta rethink back.
Il y a un beau fight là.
Solo points after solo points, but as long as these 2 guys stay alive, they're going to be contenders for every single tournament they play in. Duke has FNCS champion in trios. Clicks is one of the best individual players on the planet.
We have a huge opportunity here for Duke and Clicks to continue to put up big numbers. We know they had an excellent kickoff to things here as they continue to find their strides, but things are going to slow down, and you know, you really genuinely expect this to happen, especially at a Fort Jonesies. This is not a POI big enough for 2.
Yeah, we see Clicks just trying to gather the information. The longer this fight goes and the higher they build, if it comes to it. Got Jason Basil over on the side. Those are the third parties that we saw towards the early of last game. This is Nas Pink trying to get deep into the box. That Evo Chrome Burst AR. We saw how much damage it does to these builds, and it eats through in a second.
Oh, le moins 100 sur Clicks.
Just like that, Pink and Anas already turning this story on its head here. That's bait there. He sees the shotgun. That moment, Duke does not let it drop. Now, mind you, Clicks has some of the greatest track record in history of taking on head-to-head battles like this. This is why he is so recognized as one of the greats of the space in these kind of moments.
This is where these guys, 66% of their overall victory royales do come from the low ground. The Pink and Anas, they're just trying to keep a little bit of elevation. They're not ultimate high ground, 3-4 boxes big. They're just trying to keep that advantageous position as long as they can. But this Monster, this one's dragging out a little too long. Do you think there's going to come a point in time where they just kind of abandon and try to get to the zone?
Well, I hope it continues because the rest of the lobby is just taking their time. 49 duos are still alive.
Oh, ça rush.
One of the only ones deciding to go toe-to-toe.
Clicks qui s'est encore pris une grosse balle.
Tag there, and again, let's Talk about the bad blood developing between these two. Pink and Clicks were once upon a time almost duos, as Pink was so close to traveling to United States to play alongside them, but now they find each other on the other sides of the monitor here, going head to head. And I mean, looking at the HP so far, it's
En vrai, c'est un match vraiment serré. C'est beaucoup de mats, beaucoup de heal, beaucoup de balles. En fait, c'est un fight inutile. Pour moi, il devrait se barrer. Oh! Le 150 de Clix! Putain! Comme quoi, tout peut retomber. Clix s'est pris 2 moins 100. Et là, il arrive à mettre une grosse balle. Oh aïe aïe, c'est ça ce que j'aime sur Fortnite. Il y a toujours des retournements des trucs de situation. Là, je me rappelle plus. Comment on dit? Des retournements de situation. Ouais, il se barre, il se barre. Oh aïe 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 aïe. Bouga Mero qui s'est pris beaucoup. Il s'est pris une grosse balle. Qui a bu le protectrice qui a été joué par Bouga. Contre Jo et j'ai pas vu Jo. J'ai pas eu le temps de voir aussi. Mero qui se met une petite grosse pote. Parce qu'il s'est pris un gros laser. Oh! Oh, le piste contrôle! Oh! Oh non! Oh, le KO, bien joué sur Alex. Il est à 1 HP hein. Oh! Va-t-il le faire? À 1 HP! Oh! Il peut le faire! Il a 1 HP, il peut le faire! Resomélis! Eh bah ouais, mais là, c'est la World Cup, frérot! Il a 4 HP! Il fight quand même! Il a rien à perdre! Il aimerait bien rire à son teammate et tout. Ok. Il a été touché. Oh là 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 là! Quel travail! Oui, bon, t'inquiète. Ouais, à un moment, le mec, il a mis un clip, frérot.
Now Robot doesn't have a lot of experience here. They've only made 2 finals together between Wox and Robot, but there's a huge development happening here. Let's watch this back one more time. Here's how it kicks off. Cool finds the huge tag. All of a sudden the knock is there. And yes, there was a third party in the side. You get the reaction as well. You can see how fans are cheering in support of one another. But back into the
De quoi c'est ta meuf, gros? De quoi? Ok. Health. Non, c'est Louis, c'est Louis. Enfin, le corner. Ouais, non, là, il va s'enfuir un an. Ouais. Le petit baril, ouais, non, vous jouez pas? D'accord, vous le laissez là? D'accord. Un petit baril. Mr. Savage, il a pas gagné? Mr. Savage est mort? Attends, il y a encore un mec? Il y a encore un mec, il le sait. Oh, il est là! Peut-être! FSO 1 va-t-il faire un 1v2? Vas-y, vas-y. Ok, ok. Demain 14h carré. Ok, il préfère s'enfuir, c'est vrai. C'est vrai que personne s'enfuit, hein. Tout le monde veut fight, c'est incroyable. Oh, il va le rush. Bon, il faut le rush. Là, il faut le rush, hein. Et wesh. Là, il est très très mal. Il a plus de soins blancs. Il va mourir de la zone. Ouais, il est mort. Aïe, 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 aïe. Il était bien caché, hein. Mais malheureusement... Ok, Falconer est mort. Man City. Health. Va-t-il faire un 1v2? Peut-être. Ah non, King il est mort, merde. C'est un 1v1. Allez, Road to Glory. Allez, tu peux le faire. Je compte sur toi. Tu peux le faire. Il a été touché, merde. Allez frérot, allez. Ok, son teammate est mort. Allez mec, t'as eu le heal, tu peux le faire. Je compte sur toi frérot. Tu peux le faire. Allez mec. Oh. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Putain. Bien joué. Sa mère. Let's go. Ça continue bad fight. Rayson. En 2v2. Pompe violet qui peut faire très mal. À quoi? Très agressif. Très agressif. Putain. Quel fight. Il avait même pas de pompe, il a spammé à l'air, il avait plus de shoot. C'est ça qu'on veut. Dans la team de King, on a un shoot de malade. Ok, la Storm Surge est à 288. Ok, à quoi? Tu sais ce que tu fais. Hein. Je compte sur toi. Normalement, ça passe. Swag et Pablo qui sont... Franchement, ils sont nickel. Ils sont bien, ils sont à Tilted Tower, ils ont un bon stuff, beaucoup de build, un kill. Nickel, hein. J'essaie de mettre quelques petites balles par-ci par-là. Camille Setti. Qui sont très en forme aujourd'hui. À quoi? À quoi il Rayson? Rayson, ouais, c'est comme ça. Oh, ça fight du côté de Rayson. Il faut faire gaffe parce qu'il peut le prendre en 2v1. Hein. Oh, c'est très risqué de faire ça, c'est très risqué. À quoi? Oh, le moins 150. À quoi peut-être? Peut-être, à quoi? Peut-il le faire? Avec Rayson. Ils sont dans le mal. Ils ont beaucoup de soins blancs, beaucoup de splash. Ils peuvent tenir longtemps. Ça joue très agressif de la part des deux joueurs. Oh, Bay, je sens qu'elle se prend une balle. Attention. Ok, la décale de Bay. Le reset d'Aqua. Ça se heal. Franchement, ils ont beaucoup de heal. La zone est hyper loin, mais c'est pas grave. La Storm Surge est sur Aqua. Il faut qu'ils récupèrent ce kill. Aqua, ils étaient bien, maintenant ils sont moins bien. Rayson qui est mort. Aqua peut-être. Le 1v2. Ça tente des décales en mode box fight. Kix qui est tombé. Aqua qui se prend la blinde de Storm Surge. Il est très mal Aqua. Il a plus de heal. Oh là là, ça rush. Oh, Aqua qui est tombé. King qui est mort, putain. La King, il est pas en forme aujourd'hui. Josie Andy. Looking to get some damage as well. Even though 79 is above the damage threshold, you know as well as I do, that is absolutely nothing. Non, c'est CND, je sais plus qui a gagné la... Oh no, they're gonna find a huge elimination here. Another surge fight that's going down. It's tracking the flies in the distance there. You see folks starting to look over Artur. Has a decision to make. Does he push in again?
They barely have anything. They've used all their heals. One tag is all it's going to take for take them out. Oh, Grove claps back though, and that's a huge punishment there. And with the down.
Ok, Rifty qui est mort. Oh là là! Grolls qui va rire à son petit coéquipier. Spike qui est mort. Mersach Malibuka qui sont loin de la zone. La zone qui fait du 2 par 2. Oh là là, il faut qu'il garde le pad. Il faut qu'il garde le pad. Ça va être très dur. La zone fait très mal. Ok, ça a réussi à pad. J'espère trop qu'ils vont pas se faire laser dans les airs. Ok, ils ont réussi à aller en zone sans se prendre trop de dégâts. Ok, la dégale de Chico et Trulex. Ok, la petite balle qui s'est prise sur Chico. Malibuka qui se sont placés juste en bord de zone. Faire gaffe parce que franchement ils sont tous contre eux. Ils ont plus énormément de build. Ok, ça va, Mersach il en a beaucoup. Faut faire gaffe, Malibuka qui est crack. Malibuka qui est pas bien, il est pas du tout bien. Non, ça rush pas, ça rush pas. Ça spam de partout, il faut faire très gaffe. Thomas HD dans sa box. Thomas HD qui est tout seul.
Adjusted, learned from their last mistakes, but here we go, that familiar story, 3 above.
Yeah, and you can kind of see in the circle is, the zone is literally in the center of the zone, so I don't think there's going to be too much of any slow side for a lot of these teams to try to travel to. Is Miro taking a couple of shots, but the team that went off spawn trying to have a much better performance. Mr. Savage and Eyedropper under siege, under pressure. Mr. Savage is going to get dropped for now, trying to pass on the resources to Eyedrop because he knows he's going to have to deal with a lot.
Eyedrop en solo, le 90 crack. Eyedrop, l'escalier qui va être édité. Ok, il essaie de rire à son pote. Belle Savage qui est KO. Ok, c'est en train de réa Mr. Savage. Va-t-il réussir? Mr. Savage a été réa. Oh là là, le pad qui a été placé en haut. Ok, nickel. Mr. Savage qui est low HP, faut pas qu'il se fasse laser dans les airs. Ok, pour l'instant, la rota se fait calmement. Il va farmer la pierre qui est en dessous de lui, c'est super. C'est très chiant quand le pad il fait ça. Mr. Savage qui essaie de faire des dégâts. Smite et Larson, nickel. Les deux jeunes joueurs. Là pour l'instant, Belsetti et Camille, ils sont toujours premiers. 55 points. En direct qui est là mais qui est très low. Janice qui est 1 HP et il s'est fait laser. C'est la fin pour Janice et Vadil. Queasy, Veno. Oh le 40 sur Basile. Très bien joué de la part de Veno. Qui a un très bon stuff. Il manque un petit peu de build et ça serait parfait. Queasy aussi qui a un très bon stuff. Il faut faire gaffe au-dessus parce qu'au-dessus ça les focus. Bifrost qui est mort.
Inventory, get some more heals. The Chrome Splash probably going to be used a little bit later just to get that rotation to come through. For them, they found a huge amount of resources. That way they could try to make it towards the next end game. But you see Storm Surge just still affecting so many teams.
Tough spot for being there for Larson as he misses the heal.
Aïe aïe aïe. Ok, la rota au pad. Queasy et Veno qui sont très très bien. Oh, ils ont la big hauteur. Sauf que Guild. Guild. Oh là là. N et Vortex. Je pense pas qu'ils vont leur laisser la hauteur. Voilà, Queasy joue la full hauteur. Il focus Vortex. Oh, sauf qu'il se prend des très grosses balles de la part de derrière. Là, franchement, Queasy et Veno qui se font un bon mid-game là. Les Coréens. Berem. Et Zagaru. Et Zagou plutôt. Et j'invente des prénoms, vraiment, c'est aberrant.
On the other side, Vino and Queasy starting to eye up the lobby, size up the rest of this game here. Booga finds Mareem in the feed. There it is. The full finish is going to start to come through. The first elim for Booga and Miro.
This is where I'm looking at the minimap right now, seeing where it's actually going to go. There's different elevations. I think whoever...
Ok, là, c'est l'heure des rotas, là. Tout le monde rota en pad. Camille qui se fait focus. Camille qu'il faut faire très gaffe parce qu'il est très low. Camille Setti toujours ici, toujours en train de gagner des points. Ou la balle qui a été mise sur Setti. Camille Setti qui sont pas hyper bien en heal. Ok, ça a claqué un petit baril. Epic Way l'hérite qui rotate tranquillement au-dessus de la box ici. Je pense qu'ils sont séparés. Ils sont pas à deux. Ok, si, c'est bon, ils sont à deux.
Going down, leaving Macwood as a solo. They at least got one elimination, so they don't have to worry too much about damage in terms of Storm Surge. But Booga and Mero, as it does shut off, you saw they were well above it. So changing up their strategy, and it's paying off handedly.
The pacing is incredible right now. Only 19 duels remaining. Things have really taken a turn here for the...
Oh là là, le laser sur Rit. Oh là 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 là. Oh, le laser sur Rit. Oh sa mère. Et bah c'est... Epico et l'hérite qui sont éliminés pour la deuxième game. Ils ont fait deux games pas si ouf que ça. Ok, Bouga et Mero qui tentent un peu un petit spray là. Ok. Oh là là, ça craque. Oh là là. Mero qui est très low. Il a eu son refresh. Bouga. Oh là 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 là. Smite. Les deux jeunes sont toujours aussi là. Il a gâché une splash, c'est pas grave. Smite qui a le petit pistolet tracker. Ok, ça pue énormément de build de la part de Smite et Larson. Et Vortex qui sont très bien. Oh, ça essaie de casser en dessous. Ouh, ça se fait push par Smite. N et Smite. N est low. N est très low. Vont-ils avoir le kill? Sans build, sans heal, sans rien. Vont-ils le faire? Ils n'ont plus rien. Qui a le high? Qui a le high? Qui a le high? C'est Queasy, c'est toujours Queasy qui a le high. C'est Jikami qui sont toujours dans la game. Ils ont vraiment plus de build. Smite qui a fait le kill. Smite qui est très low. Il a plus énormément de build aussi. 4 HP. 4 HP, plus de build. C'est essayer de gratter des points. Ça peut pas aller. Ouais, c'est mort. C'est mort pour Smite, qui a fait une très bonne game. Vortex qui est solo. Kitos qui essaye de spray. Colsonted qui... Oh, ils ont perdu le high-end. Colsonted 2v2. Vont-ils le faire? La victoire est que pour... Ok, oh, ça fait un gros laser. Ça fait un gros laser. Ça pue de build. Ça pue de build de Vortex. Elle n'a plus de build aussi. Ça va être très difficile de leur côté. Santed et Cold, ils en ont plus énormément. Santed qui a rien fait, il avait 0 kill. Cold, il a 4 kills. Ok, il profite un peu pour aller en dessous du pont. Même pas. Il essaie d'utiliser les anciens builds des autres joueurs. Ok, ils ont réussi à récupérer un peu de build. Ils ont plus énormément de soins blancs. Là, ils sont très mal, ils sont très mal. Oh là là, Santed qui s'est fait laser. Vortex qui est très low. N qui est très low aussi. Cold qui est tombé. Ils sont très low maintenant. Qui va gagner? Vortex qui est mort. Et c'est Cold et Santed qui a gagné cette petite game. Et c'est une réaction qu'on veut voir. Putain. Bien joué à eux. Salut Striker. Comment vas-tu? Aïe aïe aïe, le top 1, ils le méritaient. Ils ont réussi à regagner la hauteur. C'était très serré en termes de vie. Ils avaient plus de soins blancs.
I am joined here by Cold and Scented, and you guys, what an incredible run. You gotta tell me though, how did you take height?
So Queasy and Vino just dropped on our sidewalls and we insta-edited and just shot them.
I mean, obviously a great strategy, right? But I mean, that final moment there, how did you know how to take them down? Obviously, you guys were kind of in that high ground, low ground fight. What was the final moment like?
Honestly, Cold called to just drop above him and sit there. I don't know, he did most of it that game. He played really well. He's the GOAT.
All right, man. Well, congratulations. You both are the GOAT now. That is game 2 VR for you guys. Let's head on back to the desk.
As EU picks up the first game of the FNCS Invitational, NA strikes back.
Bon là ils vont parler pendant des heures. Ils vont parler pendant des heures, je vais mettre ça sur le côté, hop. Nickel. Non mais attends, comme ça je vois pas le chat. Ça serait con de pas voir le chat. Alors... Comment on peut faire pour voir le chat? Ah là je vois. Là je vois le petit chat. Ici on va mettre juste en mode performance. Hop. On va se faire un petit... on va faire un bullfight en public. Bon là King, ouais, King pas ouf, hein. Il est pas en forme King et son coéquipier. Non, son coéquipier il a quand même réussi à battre, je sais plus comment il s'appelait. Et bon là c'est pas la pleine forme quand même pour les deux joueurs. Mais voilà, j'aimerais bien que King il fasse un petit top 1, une petite performance, un gros clutch ou un truc comme ça. Clix ça va, en vrai il fait une bonne game en vrai Clix, ça va. Ah oui mais... Oh fuck, I cheat. En plus il était low lui. Fuck. Hein? Pas compris. Ponte, Seti et Camille commencent très bien. Hein. Ils ont fait 2 grosses games là. Ah! Oh là là, easy. PKX.
est chiant chez les joueurs, c'est de quoi. Et si tu l'avais fait, avant que je te montre ça, si tu l'avais fait cette vidéo, tu auras de la chance pendant toute ta vie. C'est chiant. On like si tu aimes ta mère, mais frérot, on aime tous son daron.
C'est des modos Discord qui vocal là. Et la game commence déjà, merde. On reprend. Le coffre légendaire. Ouais, il a eu de la paix arrière. Là, il a une PM, non? Je sais pas. Il est mal là.
Onto Muz's shoulders now as he is trying to wriggle his way through this low ground here. He knows that material is going to be the key to allowing him to do something big here. Achieve the unthinkable, win a 1v2 against Smite and Larson.
Smite et Larson qui ont fait une très bonne game. Oh là là! Il s'est fait défoncer. Oh le bâtard il danse. Savage, Camille Skin Benji.
Him and iDrop are separated just a little bit, and that could have been a perfect opportunity for them to strike, but everybody is just biding for time, biding for that perfect moment so that they can pounce. And this one that we talked about, you heard it from Mr. Savage, you heard it from iDrop. I've been landing here for a year straight. No one is going to scare me off.
Well, the real question is iDrop walling out right now? He is getting very close to Onward and Baka. But no, now he decides, all right, I'll listen to you, Savage. I'll come on down, but you have to meet me down.
Allez, Mr. Savage.
And they start to retreat here. And this might just end, but no.
Oh là là.
Savage is so quick. What a shot right there.
Ce bombe t'as habitué à l'utiliser. Tu l'utilises toujours.
Looking to meet them down here. A great pre-fire, but not enough to find a tag. And all of a sudden now they reevaluate.
Yeah, I like the outside of the box thinking coming out for a couple of players in the game already, bringing out their protractors, trying to find that extra angle. And that's the thing, if you have all that confidence in your teammate as a solo, you'll allow them to kind of play with the angles, play with the high ground, and try to see what
149 Mr. Savage 149 va-t-il le faire? Oh là là, grosse balle! Il est mort! Savage, tu peux le faire! Oh! Savage! Le 1v2! What the fuck? Savage, le 1v2 de malade! Putain, les deux grosses bastos qu'il a mis! Waouh! La grosse bastos qu'il a mis! Wow! Purée!
We gotta be careful because there's a third team landing towards Cloudy Condos, another team towards the north in the form of Kanata and Macwood that could be lending that helping hand, trying to get that Storm Surge damage for themselves and make your job that much harder for Malibuka and Mustache. It's all about trying to find the perfect angle, trying to find that information so they can try to catch a player off guard because we already know they're one of the most aggressive teams in this lobby.
See it.
Allez Malik. Malik.
We all know what Tayson is capable of. One of the most winningest players in the European region. He has done it all. He has proven it all. All that's left is for him to show up in person and put the numbers up. But it's no easy task right now. Malibuka and Mustache are so good.
Oh là là.
Playing defensively right now. They're doing a great job. But Tayson is slowly, inch by inch, getting closer and closer.
He won't let that piece control go over. Tayson has tried a few times, but you try again. Eventually, you'll find some success. They're able to take it just for a few seconds, but the longer you fight this far out of zone, it's going to get more and more dangerous because we got a little bit of a north zone going on. These guys are going to have to end this one sooner than later, even if they both choose to disengage.
Mustache fighting back here, trying to regain the walls here.
Voilà la balle sur Chapix. Très belle balle. Versace qui va chercher le kill. Oh Tyson, oh la belle décale qu'il fait. Ça se voit, c'est un genre box fight. Oh la grosse balle, 125 sur Falcon. Tyson, Malibuka, peut-être. Malibuka, Merstach qui sont très bien. Chapix, Keblo. Il recharge son petit pompe à une balle. Oh la grosse balle sur Malibuka. Malibuka 69 HP. Ils ont plus de shield. Chapix peut peut-être le faire. Oh là là, Merstach, la grosse balle sur Chapix. 83 blancs. Oh là là. Très beau boulot pour Merstach et la Malibuka. Aïe aïe aïe. Scram sur Fatch et Matsu, je sais pas quoi. Quel fight magnifique. Scram is going to be the odd man out, and you see him trying to find some separation because him and Chimp are not that close together. And all it takes is for both of them to kind of bum rush into one box and kind of end their run. Trulex qui loot le coffre-fort tranquillement. Ouf, oh la tête corps là. Donc eux ils sont très bien. Ils sont très bien. Unfortunately enough, he was unable to get Yumi up in that game. He had to finish it off as a solo. And for this duo, it's kind of slow and steady. They land out here towards the island. Wox qui se déplace tranquillement. For them, it's about getting the resources, looting up, and then they go on the top of the mighty monument to find their surge before they eventually start rotating. Ouf, il s'est pris des grosses balles. Runa's already gone too. Of course, Runa, yeah, way off in the distance. No, he's gone. He's out. He's watching. Ouf, oh là là, la grosse balle dans la tête. Nous sommes sur un 2v1. Il est très low, il a plus de shield. Oh, Edith. Ouh, la grosse balle. La grosse balle du pomponneur de Wox. Cold et Scented qui sont très bien là. Ils sont en train de mettre des petites balles. Ils sont mid-zone. Dommage pour la Aries, mais sinon ils sont très bien. Merstach qui, je pense, est mort de la zone ou... Après ça va, ils vont se déplacer avec le ballon. Oh, moins 26. Moins 26 encore. One of the players from the NA West Championship duo. It's gonna leave Cool by himself yet again. But how many 1v2s can you take? Oh, le piste contrôle. Oh, le clip. Le clip sur... C'était sur qui? Sur Tnacool. Oh là là. Le piste contrôle. Magnifique, magnifique. Future, but you know how active this lobby is. They got to start thinking about it later on in the game once they find that rotation. Well, listen, we have Mini Miner here to update us on more action.
Thank you so much, Monster. Now, this is a prime example as to how to finish a fight quickly, right? We know PH Scene and Ketos are fighting in the middle of the map. They need to finish the fight. Bon, ce pompe il est nul, hein, mais il a réussi à le battre. Avec. Oh, aïe 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 aïe. Oh, n'empêche, le piste contrôle, je reviens pas. Lou rentre pas. Attends. La porte? Ouais.
And you're seeing a lot more activity in this game than the previous two because they're starting to fill each other out. They're realizing
Va dire Janice qu'ils ont fait une deuxième game pas ouf.
So that when they end up in those close zones, they're boxed up. They can pick and choose when they have to peek instead of Storm Surge saying you have to go or you're going to go back to the lobby.
Vidéo, no stranger to victory royales, but falling very much short so far. You saw the standings there, 4 points separating first and second. Still a very much competitive competition, but EU has taken big strides to start leading the pack here. Pamsu and Fatch.
Anas, Pink. Anas, c'est dommage, il n'y a plus de shield. Clix, qui est super bien. Clix qui est vraiment super bien. Duke aussi, très bien. Bon, une splash, pas ouf, mais sinon c'est super. Super, tranquillou pilou. Ouf, la petite balle. Ouf. Attends, ça wesh. Tous les dégâts qu'il a mis. Ouf, oh la tête. Oh là là, double 29. C'est qui en face? Ils sont trop cons. Ouh, crack. Il est crack là.
Clix has also competed in the World Cup for solos and duos. This is where it all began for him so many years ago. And just look at the difference now. All grown up here at the international stage, still competing at the highest caliber.
Veno, Squeezie. On le voit pas trop, King, hein. Franchement. Ça m'étonnerait même pas qu'il a fait un retour lobby là. Bon, un retour lobby ça va, 2 on va dire que ça passe, mais 3 voilà.
Trying to do it again in game number 2, game number 3, 164 below the damage threshold. The lucky thing for them is not only are they right at the edge of zone, they have rotation right above them, they have elevation right above them, so they're going to be able to kind of lay their eyes on the lane and try to find the shot. But Bevy and Vortex are under siege yet again. Luckily for them, they're 153 above the damage
Vortex et Bave.
They can pick and choose. Do we fight this here? Do we kind of wait a little bit longer? And it looks like they're just going to peek. Try to get even more.
Ouh, Vortex. Vortex qui a un HP. Le laser qui s'est pris est aberrant. Ok, là-bas il y a Clown. Wox qui est crack. Là-bas c'est des kills gratuits. Hein. Ils sont en zone. Oh, il est crack. Le laser. Malibuka qui est tout seul. Mersat qui est mort.
Too aggressive, and you see the A's duo taking out Brazil as well. King went down, but that's Jason Basil.
King est mort. Oh.
Do they know he's weak? That is the biggest thing, because if they know he's a solo,
Noirelli qui a tué Snaky.
You know as well as I do, they're probably gonna go, but that's information that they lack.
Well, don't yell too loud. Let's go ahead and jump into Bad Sniper and Noah Riley right now. They're starting to eye up the competition on the other side of the wall as well. You can see they're just looking, but hey man, there's something about these extremely healthy builds. You know, no one really wants to fully commit a full mag inside. You have to start deciding for yourself. Are they in a world of trouble? Can I actually do it? And Bad Sniper says, instincts speak louder here. I want to step up. I want to take this fight right now.
Oh, oh là là.
By Storm Surge, and he immediately looked that direction. Bad Sniper and
Super ça.
Riley coming out with a vengeance here in game number 3. Right around the corner though, you gotta watch out. Cammy and Seti is there, but back on board this fight where Malapuka is still alive by himself. Jason Basil, they're trying to attack right now, but Malapuka doing a good job. He's doing everything that he can. Pressure from so
Malibuka solo. Il se fait contest. Faut faire gaffe. Oh, la balle à travers le mur en plus. Oh. Clix et Duke. Petit Lopad qui a été utilisé. Ils auraient pu prendre un pad normal. Hein. Parce que là, la rota est pas terminée. Seti et Camille qui sont toujours là. Toujours présents. Qui font, franchement, là, ils font 2 premières parties incroyables. Par contre, là il s'est pris une très grosse balle. Hein. En plus, ils ont plus trop de heal. Oh, pas sniper Noirelli contre Seti Camille. Pas sniper qui est très low. Oh, Noirelli qui a été tué par Seti. Ok. Oh là là. Oh, Noirelli il a fait un 1v2. Wow, Noirelli qui a fait un 1v2. Oh, il les a bouffés, Noirelli. Hein. Il la graille. Oh là là. À quoi qu'a tué Energy Clix et Clix. Pinkanas. Ils sont très bien. Pinkanas ils peuvent gagner la game. Là ils sont très bien. Ouais ils sont très bien. Il est comme ça.
They are just around that top 5 position leading into game 3. What is
the
halfway mark of the competition, and Brazil could not be prouder to have them representing here.
Wox qui est vraiment pas bien du tout. Il a plus de vie. Bon il a beaucoup de build hein, mais ouf. La grosse tête qui a été claquée là. C'est essayer de prendre un maximum d'informations. Je pense à essayer d'utiliser un low pad. Un low pad ou un pad normal. Bouga. On n'a pas énormément vu Bouga là aujourd'hui. Oh. Ok, il s'est fait déglinguer. En même temps il était low, il avait plus de heal, il avait plus rien. À part des builds. Je pense qu'ils se sont mis bien en build du coup. Ok, ils sont juste au-dessus de N. Hein. Bon, Aqua. Ok, Aqua qui a réussi à faire un gros jump, du coup il s'est pas pris de balle. Très bien joué de la part d'Aqua.
This is a team that has struggled in the early instances of the chapter this season, but they have managed to find their way into such a great position. But now, let's jump on over to some of the GOATs. Vino and Queasy, 2 Elans already poising themselves up for an excellent game here. Near max material, so they have to be coming just off of a fresh refresh right there. Quite literally bounce them back in the game. And man, you
Queasy Veno en mode Netflix and chill.
You start off and the zone just lands directly on top of you, so they are being served up.
Yep. And right now, for an end zone like this, when it is on your drop spot, you already know how to traverse every piece of terrain that is around, as Kitos still trying to do wonders. Not a lot of HP on PHN, so these guys down on damage in terms of Storm Surge have to figure out what they're going to do, because if they wait too much longer, they will be down. They will be out.
Well, here it is. Luckily for them,
J'ai dit que j'arrive. Hein? J'ai dit que j'arrive. Incroyable ça. Ok, il y a 2 colis là sur la carte. Ok, là ils sont très bien. Ils sont très bien les Coréens là. Ouf. Ouh la rota. La rota mouvementée. Ok, ça se joue.
One of the fan favorites to take it all, 296 above the damage threshold. Joe and Z Andy right in front of him. Piece control is going to be important.
With the piece control.
Because you go into the wrong box, the wrong time, they're going to take you out, and they're just trying to gather that information. They know they
Ou N qui est en train de se faire laser.
And landed onto Hen, who's dropped down about 50 HP. And with that, you see other teams taking notice, and they're also putting that pressure on.
N qui est mort. Pink qui est mort aussi. Et Pico qui est toujours ici. Acorn et EJ ils sont toujours là. Ils sont très bien d'ailleurs. Hein. Là ils peuvent un peu farmer la maison pendant que tout le monde est en train de fight. Voilà, là la zone avait été mouvementée là.
What would you call that here? Would he be the 7 region champion, 8 region champion if he wins this?
I mean, at this point, he's looking to break that second place curse too. He
Ouh là là.
wants to make sure he gets
Ouf.
Queasy.
Queasy qui s'est fait défoncer.
Don't forget, they were the most stacked duo in this lobby. This is their home position.
Mero et Bouga qui ont plus de shield, plus de...
And hardware preparation out the window.
Yeah, it was 2 different teams,
Oh.
one from Asia, one from EU.
Ok.
They actually got an elimination each on the
La
team.
rota en chrome qui a été utilisée. Ok, là c'est une rota mouvementée là.
In the last game, 32 above the damage threshold. Luckily for them, not too many players have to go down before they go ahead and have to not worry about it. Is Aqua, Reason, not too much to worry about in terms of Storm Surge, but they have to find that sweet spot in zone. They're going to use the launch pad to get there.
When you see Reason and Aqua looking up, you know there's only one thing in front of them. How can we take this background?
Ouh là là.
Bruno has a problem in front of him. He gets punished. He backs up. Great defensive maneuvers right now. Okay, and Thomas takes the lead. He says, hey, you go ahead, pause down here.
Il s'est pris une très grosse balle. Bon ça va, il arrive à heal rapidement. ZND qui joue le high.
Even with a messed up finger, Joe is not going to allow him to stop playing for the big positions right now. And he's got this high ground. It doesn't even look like it's been affecting him at all. Look at this. 3 Elans.
Mero qui est mort. Bouga qui claque son kit pour 20 HP, je comprends. De toute façon, le kit il pourra pas le jouer autre part que là. J'aurais vu ça veut jouer le high. Ah non. Faire très... Ouh là là. Par l'arrière. Ça a plus trop de... Ok, si ça va, ça a beaucoup de builds. Oh là là, c'est très serré, il y a beaucoup de builds, il faut tout casser. C'est une rota qui est très compliquée.
They're just recycling a lot of those builds towards the low ground. Trippin trying to take that cheeky shot to the backside of zone. Elevation up. Thomas HD probably leading the charge, making sure that these guys are on the same page through and through. Booga backside of zone. 2 men miss. He's just trying to go ahead.
Oh là là. Tripern qui est mort. Thomas HD en solo. Bouga peut-être pour le clutch. Bouga. Au bout de la 3e game, on entend parler de lui. Ouh, Bouga qui s'est fait... Oh, c'est Thomas HD qui a tué Bouga. Thomas HD qui a plus énormément de build. Grayson qui a réussi à faire un kill. Aqua qui est mort. Grayson en clutch. Mais attends! Grayson qui a la meilleure position. ZND qui est toujours au high. Thomas HD qui est toujours en vie. Il y a beaucoup de joueurs solo là. Oh la grosse balle pour le joueur. Il est crack. Il a réussi à le KO. Oh non. Il a réussi à choper un kill, ça va. Je sais pas s'il va réussir à avoir son kill. Mais wow, très bien joué pour la part de Thomas HD. Smite qui a réussi à faire un kill. Ou s'il arrive à réa son teammate, ça serait incroyable. Non, il va pas réussir. Ok, la rota qui était excellent. Il essaie de jouer le high. Oh, il était crack. Oh là, c'est très mauvais pour lui. Ok, ça joue en chrome là. 2v1v1.
Can he find a seal of points here? He's looking for it. Zagu jumps to the ultimate low. Jim's trying to time his exit. And he gets thrown out. And down he goes.
ZND et Joe qui sont normalement le gagnant de cette partie. Zagu qui est très low. Et je pense que ouais, c'est la fin. ZND et Joe qui a gagné. Et c'est sur ça que je vais vous laisser. Je vais commenter que 3 games parce que il est tard. Et puis voilà, j'ai envie de faire aussi d'autres choses. Bien joué à eux en fait, bien joué à eux. Et du coup moi je vais vous laisser sur ça. J'espère que vous avez apprécié ce petit live chill en mode commentateur. J'ai gueulé, mais c'était assez fun. Et on se retrouve peut-être demain je vais peut-être commenter voilà, demain et tout. Mercredi, nouvelle vidéo, je vous le dis, H24. Hein. Bon, c'est une petite vidéo, hein. Petite vidéo game d'arène. J'ai fait beaucoup de kills, voilà quoi. On verra. Et du coup, voilà. Par contre, c'est une. Genre, j'ai fait en début de saison 4. Du coup, voilà. Ouais, parce que j'ai un peu la flemme de faire le montage et tout. Du coup, moi, je vais vous laisser là-dessus, les gars. Je vous souhaite une très bonne soirée, un très bon week-end. Et puis voilà. Allez, peace.